goes the one. All right, stop streaming, start streaming. It says I'm broadcasting at 22,969 kilobits
That's not
per sizzle.
That's not even that many.
Oh,
That's not that
up.
much. Haven't we done like 60K before? Come on.
I think the max that YouTube will take is 30K, and then it bitches at you.
Lame.
I think at 30K they get a little wound up and angry.
Lame.
Let me open my dashboard.
Yes, I need to pop out the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for too right now.
Pop out.
Try studio search. Click here and search for analytics.
Don't do that.
No,
don't do that.
I'm not gonna.
I don't know.
Okay, so I clicked on live broadcast and it says there are currently no live broadcasts.
You're not a live broadcast.
Am I not live broadcasting then?
Yeah, no, we're totally live. There's people in the stream, in the chat and everything.
Oh, I'm on the wrong channel.
Oh, man, we're
party foul. Party foul. Don't worry, I'm streaming on the right channel. I just wasn't on the right channel. What's that?
Networking guy said live service games. Nah, I prefer fan service games.
Yeah, I prefer cartridges. I want cartridges back. Give him a goddamn cartridges.
That's what Baldur's Gate 3 is, really. It's just pure fan service game. So
tell me this. So Baldur's Gate, can I download it from a service where it's just an EXE? I don't need no internet connection. I can just play it.
There is a launcher like Doblo kind of. So you will need some sort of, I think. But like I think you can get it from GOG, so like you'd be DRM free, but there's like you still need like updates and stuff to it. So
I don't know. That feels like I don't want what I don't want. Let's see. Okay, where's chat?
You don't have to be online to play, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, that's good. Because the way I see it is okay. There's live online games where it's like if the servers go down, nobody can ever play it again. That's what you're talking about. We said live service, right?
Well, and we're gonna have to we're gonna have to define live service because
because I was even a little confused by that term.
The few that I understand are absolutely live service games are like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and those kinds of games. And like I was saying, like maybe even GTA Online. But like to me, a live service game also like you might even consider like an MMO, like Warcraft, World of Warcraft as a live service game. But to me, that feels a little different. It feels there's and I can't quite put my finger on the distinction, right? And so maybe we'll have to work with chat to come up with an agreeable understanding of what a live service game is. At a minimum, I would say a live service game is you can't play unless you are connected to their server in some way, like Diablo, right? Very much a single player game, despite their attempts at making it more multiplayer or like community, like an MMO. To me, Diablo is still very much a very single player game. But you need to be connected to their servers in order to play. And if you're disconnected somehow, you can't play. And so that, I guess, might be the core of a live service game.
I think that kind of makes sense. So live service game is if their servers go down for whatever reason someday, the game is basically unplayable.
Yeah,
that's what I got from that.
I would say that's a good
like you might be able to get into like a little mode where it's like a shooting range or like a demo, like here's how you play the game or something, but you're not going to be able to actually play the game. Like even the story campaign element of the game is an online feature
in a sense. Yeah, right. Where that might then exclude Call of Duty because like you can play, I'm pretty sure at least you can play the campaign mode without
here's a
connecting.
Good question.
Maybe.
So I know
I haven't played a more modern Call of Duty, so I'm not sure. Live service games are games that are designed to keep players online for as long as possible. Yeah. So I guess then it's sort of a newer-ish category.
This will answer that question for Call of Duty though. So
right?
In chat we got Call of Duty players. I'm sure of it. So if you're a Call of Duty player in chat, can you still just open up a LAN game? Say create a new LAN server, blah blah blah, or is it all where you have to create the server on their servers? Like, do you have to connect to their servers to create a room or a lobby for people to come and play with you? Or can you create one locally and have them connect to you by IP address? Because I've noticed every game that I've played in the last 10 years has moved to the model where you need a server to coordinate the connection between the clients. And once that server disappears, there's no way other than hacking the game to do it.
It's very rare anymore to have a real like LAN option like that.
Yeah, Potato Joke just answered. He said you got to create on their servers. Yeah, that seems what everybody's doing. And I know why they do it. That honestly, it's because of that stupid secondhand market. They want to kill the secondhand market. They don't want you to have any resale value on any of your games. Because I was just thinking about this the other day. I was like,
kind of. You can still, you can still buy a used copy of Call of Duty and play a game.
Like, how do you buy a used copy of Call of Duty?
You go to GameStop and get a used copy.
Yeah, but don't you have
to buy a digital copy? There's still physical media.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, don't you still have to log in and create an EA account? Otherwise, the game doesn't play. Or can you play the game without
your account is separate from the physical disc.
Yeah, but the physical disc just contains data. If you can't play the game, then you still can't collect it. Yeah, you can collect the disc, but it's not the game if you can't play it. You get what I'm saying? Unless you can buy the game and put it in.
That doesn't tie to the secondhand market. Like I said, if I could go to GameStop right now, buy Call of Duty used, throw it in my, well, if I had one, my PlayStation or whatever, create an account and play the game. And then if I get bored, I can then give it back to GameStop and somebody else can do the exact same thing. Your account isn't tied to the disc.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, but I did hear, didn't Call of Duty do a thing where it's like if you bought a secondhand game, you had to pay like another 10 or 20 bucks or whatever to activate your EA account to play it? Like if it was a new EA account that didn't have the game on it and you had a secondhand game, you had to pay like $10 or $20. Was that Call of Duty that did that? Because everybody's bitching about it. They're like, "Are you serious?"
Oh, maybe.
Like you buy a used game and now you have to pay like another $10 or $20
once before.
But my point being is, okay, I guess I didn't really clarify retro collecting, like collecting long term.
Oh, yeah, sure, like Halo. You can't play Halo online anymore. Not the original.
It's like, but you can still play campaign. You can still, grab an Xbox One, throw Halo in, disconnect the network cable, and play.
But you can't play online.
But you can't play online.
No deathmatch or anything.
But the latest Halo,
actually, OG Halo, you might still be able to do like a LAN game.
Oh, that was another game. Never mind. People are saying that was a different game. Okay. So tell me this: the latest Halo, like the brand new Halo, well, that came out like last year or the year before. Is that one always connected to, or can you play standalone campaign without connecting to a network and having a Microsoft Live account and shit?
I bet you gotta. I bet you
do.
And that's part of it. Hang on, I gotta check something real quick. I'll be right back. No worries. That's part of what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, no, that absolutely, because I think that's one of the big problems that I have with this is if you go buy a game, like you want to collect a game on media, right? And even those days are numbered. Yeah, you can buy a disc today. But look at half the consoles you buy now. You can buy an Xbox One X that has no optical drive. You can buy a PlayStation 5 that has no optical drive. You can buy computers that have no optical drives. Optical drives are basically being phased out because the internet's so fast. It's just cheaper and easier to distribute everything digitally, right? It's even more convenient for most people. So once that's completely phased out and those games are gone, as soon as the server's gone or they stop carrying the game on the server or they shut down the servers that the game needs to connect to authenticate that you're the true owner of the game and you're allowed to play it, even just the DLC servers, for crying out loud, that game will, for all intensive purposes, be unplayable until you can like have somebody patch or hack it to be able to run locally. And there's no guarantee that's going to happen because if it's a game like, say, Star Citizen, where it's completely dependent on getting all of its coordinate and information system from a server, that's going to be significantly harder to hack, right? It's like, yeah, the assets might be there. You might be able to like go fly around a completely empty world if you hacked it enough. But because the game is so heavily connected to always on and server communication and everything is a big part of the game and the logistics in the game, that game would basically be useless without the servers.
Yeah.
So it's not even a matter of just being connected. It's always connected, right? A lot of these games are like, you can't, if you disconnect, it'll pop up a dialogue box and be like, does it do that shit? Are you serious?
Yeah. I think they gave you some wiggle room with Diablo 3 after some backlash, but Diablo 4, I know I'm almost certain you have to always be online.
I can't believe this is still a problem after SimCity. Do you remember SimCity?
Oh yeah, man. There was like SimCity 2000, I think it was.
Was it SimCity 2000? I thought it might have been one more after that.
Yeah, it could be.
Because it was, I remember the latest, I think it's the latest SimCity. I don't know if they made another one after that, but it was like the fancy SimCity. Everybody was like totally all about getting this game. I was too. I was like waiting to buy it. Like I was pre-order, right? I wanted to play that game so bad. Yeah. I get the game. I start it up and all it says, you've been disconnected. The servers are overloaded. You've been disconnected. The servers are overloaded. Then I finally get on a server and I'm like, yay, I'm playing. I build my city for 15 minutes. It says, oh, sorry, you've been disconnected to the server. Wait for reconnect. And it will not let you play the game, even though you're not connected to other players, even though you don't have any commerce with any other players. You don't have any other players in your world. It doesn't matter. You have to be on and connected. So if the cable gets pulled or internet gets interrupted, you get this little pop-up on your screen that blocks you from playing. Yep. And I know that they released a patch to stop that. I know that after a couple of months, like people were so mad and there were so many returns or whatever that they basically put a patch on there. But it's like, why did they do that in the first place? It's like, yeah, I get it. You guys are going to combat piracy, but they hacked it immediately. Did you see how fast a hack came out for it?
They always do. They always do.
Like I literally, the night I couldn't play, I literally went and got the torrent for it and downloaded the hacked version and never had to deal with that pop-up ever again. Everybody else online was bitching about it. I didn't have to worry about it because I'm just sitting here playing along on my little pirated version.
That's the dumbest part, is like the piracy thing. Especially, like, I can kind of understand it when it comes to movies. Like, oh, you know, a person who downloads a movie, that's like a sale lost. Like, I could see that making sense. But like, somebody who pirates your game probably wasn't going to buy it anyway. Like, for whatever reason, they don't have the money, they do DRM, whatever, like whatever excuses they have, or reasons. I don't want to say excuses, that's got negativity to it, like reasons, because I've fucking downloaded games before.
No, I have too, and to be fair, I even pirate some console games today because it's just easier to play them on an emulator.
Yeah,
again, because of DRM bullshit.
In a big way, I've done it like demos too for some games, where like, because that's a killer thing, right? Nobody does demos hardly anymore. I think that would take a big bite out of piracy. It was just demos. If people had fucking demos again. Cool. But what brought this up to me is, like, I saw a tweet, I think it was from Polygon, maybe someone, one of these news sites. They said that it says, is Starfield in trouble? Player numbers are down, something like that, right? And a lot of the comments underneath it are like, you know, guys, it's a single player game. People play it, they finish, they move on. Yep. Like, that doesn't mean that Starfield is in trouble. It means that it's a few months old now and people are done playing the game. You know? and so that brought up a question of me, is like, have these sort of live service games where the point is to get you to continuously play, you know, like Call of Duty or Fortnite or fucking Diablo, whatever, like they'll have, or, you know, a lot of these are either competitive or are what I would have considered traditionally more massively multiplayer online games, which that's their model. That's their business model, is to keep you playing for months and months and months and months. Yeah, Starfield's not a bad game. It's boring. I'm feeling it. Too much loading. Honestly,
I gave up after 2 hours and haven't gone back to it. But I want to clarify, though, that's not because I don't like the game. I just found it boring. I thought I thought the art was great. I thought the level design was good. I thought I loved like the weapons and the ships, and even the combat in space. I thought was like pretty cool how they managed to make that where you could just play with the keyboard and mouse really easily. Mm-hmm. And I thought they did an amazing job. And there was very few bugs that I encountered. Like, I did encounter bugs, but there were none that were like game breaking or crashes. Right?
Yeah.
Which every Bethesda game I've ever played, it crashes within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, come on.
So I was impressed. I was legit impressed. But I have to say, it's boring. People and everybody told me I think so the too. Side quests, and it's a really good game, but I haven't tried that yet.
I've been enjoying my time with Starfield because I've allowed myself to like become distracted. As an example, I was doing a mission for some guy, like a miner. He needed new equipment to impress his bosses or something, but they wouldn't approve him getting new equipment. So he had me go to like the HR office, to hack the computer to delete all these candidates so that I would be like the only candidate, whatever. I get caught hacking the computer, get arrested. I wake up and I'm like on a ship somewhere else. Like, they took all my stuff. And they're like, oh, we could send you to jail, or you can do this secret mission for us. And I'm like, cool, fucking secret mission, let's do it. And then started going down that path, and I completely forgot about the miner guy and the fucking HR department and all this stuff. And I'm working through that, and then like I'm on my way to go do something else, and I hear somebody say something, like a guard is talking to another guard, and it pops up a little thing that's like, oh, go talk to so and so. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's now my thing. And so like, if I like lean into my ADHD and just bounce around and stuff, it's been pretty fun. But the main storyline, I've deliberately not been doing the main story quests and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't tried the side quests yet at all, but I did find that about an hour into the game, I was so bored with how slow things were moving and just how far I had to run to like get this stuff, that I just started just blowing away cops and like trying to see how long I could escape them.
Nice.
Like, and it was funny because I knew I was gonna die. There's no way, like, once you aggro the cops in that game, like, there's no way you're ever gonna get back to your ship and clear orbit. Like, it's impossible.
Oh, no way. Like, they'll toast you as soon as you reach orbit.
Unless you have cheat codes, there's no freaking way you're gonna make orbit.
Yeah.
And so I would just like land, get out of the ship, go pop the dude in the head, grab all the crap off his corpse and then just run as far as I could and like jump
Nice.
up and try to get myself jammed into like weird polygon places and stuff.
Yeah.
And I found one place where there was a bug where I fell under the map slightly and I got stuck and couldn't get
cool.
out. And so, but they couldn't get me. They were just sitting there shooting me for like ever, and they couldn't shoot through the thing. And so I just sat there for like 15 minutes, like eating a candy bar. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Okay. Then I got bored and I reset back to my last save point and tried again. But it's not a great, you know that the game is lacking. Just GTA had the same problem. Like GTA campaign, I love it. Absolutely love the GTA 5 is probably the most
dude, it's so good.
The best campaign of it. I've played it through more than any other game, more than Mario Brothers. I beat it more than the original Mario Brothers.
Nice.
And the reason that game holds my attention is because it's just so random. It lets you go in every direction, and no matter which direction you pick, you make progress somewhere. Like the storyline is worked out in such a way that like you can just switch characters if you get bored with one. You can just go do side quests, and it still helps you out with the main quests, right? It helps you get the stuff you need. So I absolutely love how well that game is put together, and I'm surprised. I wonder if GTA 6 is going to come even close. That's like following up.
I think
GTA
so.
5 is
Dude,
a mega.
They have to.
It has to, man.
Which I mean, look, Rockstar didn't even need to make GTA 6. They could have taken the Valve approach and just kept on like doing more and more with GTA Online. They could have just put out GTA Online 2. Yeah. And frankly, they will. GTA 6 will have GTA Online 2. True. Like a year later.
And do you think GTA 5 is gonna die? No way. No way.
Oh, no.
They'll keep the servers going. They'll keep it going forever.
Yeah. And if nothing else, I feel like GTA Online is one of those ones where it would have like private servers, which I know they do already for like RP and stuff. Yeah. And so like even if Rockstar shut down I don't think they'd ever shut down they'll shut down their official servers, but they would totally hand it over to the community.
To be fair, though, our RP was like a nefarious side project, but then they bought them. Like it was called what was the name of that?
There was a handful of private RP servers that
but the technology that lets you do it was called like M something.
I don't know.
Somebody in chat will get it, but there was a mod 5M.
Okay.
So 5M was a mod that you added on to GTA 5, and then it allowed you to basically use servers that were completely made by anybody out there in the wild using open source software, and you had no tie to GTA's world at all. Like basically, you take the game completely offline. You could use mods and whatever you wanted, and it wouldn't ban you. It was awesome, but it was kind of laggy the few times that I tried it. But then again, my internet connection wasn't the best back then. But I noticed that Rockstar bought him. Like I thought that was so weird. Like I thought Rockstar would want to like threaten to sue him and put him out of business. But they actually did the opposite. Rockstar bought him up, embraced him, and like kept the team together. And as far as I know, it's unchanged. Like it still works the same today as it did before. And I'm like, why did they buy? Like I'm trying to figure out in my head like why they bought it, because a lot of my theories didn't come true. Like I had a lot of theories that they were buying it to kill it internally or to buy it and try to steer people, to GTA 6 or whatever by like slowly shutting it down and restricting it. They've done none of those things as far as I can tell. It seems like it still works exactly the same as it did.
Yeah.
So they basically just bought a community owned and built tool for hacking GTA 5, and they just were like, hey everybody, we openly support this now, and it's canon.
Great.
Yeah,
better than fucking cease and desist, and then
right
and then do nothing with it.
Yeah, and you're not going to get them to stop. That's the thing, is like when you have open source projects like that where it's all open source code, there's no way to stop it. You literally can't stop. Like legally, you can't stop it. All you can do is say you can't do stuff with the compiled binaries, but you can't stop distribution of the source code.
I wish there was some avenue of acquiring like some of these older games. There's one in particular that always stands out to me. It's called Earth and Beyond, and I'm like, man, EA is never going to do anything with it. They just sit on it because like they don't want anybody else to do anything
familiar.
With it. It was a pretty interesting MMO way back in the day. I would say just short of the downfall of the peak of MMOs. It was neat. It was fun. I liked it, and it didn't last long. I think it only was up for like a year or two before they shut it all down. But it's like there's part of me that's in a sense that wants to support the like the archival part of it, right? But also like I guarantee, and I know that there are private servers for Earth and Beyond available, but if it were like an official thing or like somebody could buy it and then start up a little server, it wouldn't be crazy big. There'd maybe be like 100 people, 200 people maybe that play the game like consistently. But like, why not? Like, why not? It would be more
the natural
enough.
end to the live games then, is that everybody just creates an aftermarket hacked server infrastructure and that's what keeps it alive?
I think that would be really cool. I think that would be great. And
Because
I
I don't
think
think
that
most companies would
I
go
think
after them if they didn't
after
have a competing like thing, like a competing game.
there's
I don't see why they wouldn't allow it to just I mean, unless it's Nintendo. If it's Nintendo, they'll steamroll it even if they
but
have
that's
absolutely nothing using it, and then they'll
yeah,
appropriate it and make it into their new game.
but I feel like after a certain point, they should have to give it up. Like if you're not doing anything with it, then
Can
you
someone
should have
actually
to. There should be like a marketplace or
let's go ask the
or a,
mighty AI. I think the
you know, an
mighty AI can
auction
answer
of
this.
some sort of public auction for it or something. Like it isn't and fuck man, you can set a limit. Like obviously they got to recoup some cost, but the game's like in this particular example, the
I'm
game's like
pretty
fucking
sure
12 years old.
doesn't
I'm
code fall
sure.
under copyright?
Hmm?
So I think code falls under copyright, and copyright law I think only applies for 8 years, and then you can renew it like once or something like that, and then it's
I don't
public
know.
domain after that.
I
Here,
don't
let
I
me
don't
see.
think there's no way. There's no way because like
How long before a video game becomes public domain?
because if that's the case, man, I bet I could find I bet I could gather up a
Oh Jesus Christ! Oh my God,
75 years plus or something,
70
right?
plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So and like because like man, if there
Oh my
was any actual avenue of getting EA to like sell the rights, I bet unless like the company itself dissolves,
God.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of abandonware, like the Wolf's Den mentions, where the company that made this thing does not exist. The people who originally owned or made this thing don't exist. The corporate structure, the whatever, the people who own the companies that own these copyrights just don't exist, and so then there's nobody to fight you, and so like it's kind of a weird gray area. But like if there were some official avenue that like I bet I could get a crowdfunded thing going and get $1 million or $2 million to buy maybe not Earth and Beyond, but there are some games out there for sure that like people would love to see revived.
You need to find a company that went bankrupt, like straight up went bankrupt, and then the bank doesn't really know what they have.
Yeah.
Like because they probably just sold off the asset as sell the whole company or something, right?
Mhm.
And they just approach whoever bought the name because they probably don't want the intellectual property, otherwise they would have brought the game back, right?
Yeah.
So approach that company and just be like, hey, listen, I'd be interested in buying that game off you for $10,000 or whatever, and be like, this is a game from 2002 that hardly anybody played. You know, it died off. It'd almost be one of those things where it'd be more people would play it today than back then, just because it'd be ironic. Like that they missed
man,
the
are
boat,
you kidding?
right?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine the hype for a game like or another game I really liked back in the day was called Shadowbane.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember Shadowbane.
Cool concept. Yep. Again, flopped. Didn't do very well. Yep. Actually, I think in context at the time, I think it did okay. But some
like
of these
Pirates
games
of the
like
Burning Sea, I remember that.
Pirates of the Burning Sea was fucking awesome too.
It was a great game, but it just flopped hard.
And dude, I think frankly, Sea of Thieves or something like that should take a little bit more inspiration from that, because man, the 3 faction thing trying to take over the Caribbean and the occasional server, I think that formula today could do really, really well.
Dude, the fighting mechanics were awesome too. You could like put cannons on the side of your boat and like actually would steer your boat around. So it wasn't like a traditional RPG where it was like turn-based or whatever, right?
Right.
You'd actually be out like straight up fighting like what's that? World of Warships or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like think of like World of Warships, but with like old sailing vessels.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
You could actually put like different cannons on there, and you could even change the loadout on the cannons. Like you could shoot balls and chains and try to take crew off the deck.
I miss a good pirate game.
It was pretty good. I will admit, I played it with my friend because he worked. I don't know if you know this, but my friend Eric actually, he was one of the graphic asset designers on that game.
Oh, cool!
So I got to play it for free because he signed me up as a beta tester, and we played for months before it went public.
I think that'd be one that could stand to have like just a remaster. You could just throw better textures into that, and the formula for it would work, I think, really well.
I feel like Sony gave up way too early on that too, because they didn't even let it. They didn't even let it roll for like a year, and they were already like, "Let's shut down the servers." And you're like, "What are you guys doing?" Like, MMOs take a while to catch on. They don't just like catch fire immediately. You know,
they wanted another EverQuest or EverQuest 2. They expected it to just blow up just because it was Sony Online Entertainment, but.
Colin said, Jerry, there's an upcoming event for the stream on your channel. Did I do it again where I streamed to the wrong one and everybody's on the other one? I hope not. Let me double check that really quick. Let's see, UB.
I mean, on your home YouTube channel, it says we're live.
just says Tech Talk is live. I don't see anything.
Oh, there
scheduled.
is underneath. At least for me, it does say
something?
there's 5 people waiting. Yeah.
Oh shoot! I see. See 168 watching, 5 people waiting. Live service game. Oh, with the wrong thumbnail too. That's weird.
Yeah.
All right,
weird.
let me remove that.
Guns of Icarus. That's yeah. See, right. That's a fun one too. I played the single player for that for a little bit. Skull and Bones. I don't know, man. I have high hopes. I have high hopes for Skull and Bones, but it's been so long. I'm afraid it's not gonna be good. I was so excited to hear that. Oh man, we took the team from that did Black Flag, and we're taking the ship combat parts out of Black Flag, and we're spanning that into a full game and stuff. And I think it's too late. I think it took too long. I don't think it's gonna be what they hope it to be, and I'm really bummed about it because man, Black Flag, I think to this day so far is still like one of the best pirate games. Like scrub out the Assassin's Creed part of it and just like look at it as a pirate game. It's freaking amazing.
All right, I think I fixed it, guys. So hopefully the people over on the other server will see that it ended.
Very
it should say the stream has ended. This happened last week too. I remember. I got to figure out what's doing this. So when I start the stream inside of OBS, it lets me put in like the thumbnail and it lets me put in a bunch of information, right?
Yeah.
And oh, I know what happens. Remember how I told you that I had an error when I said start the stream? It popped up with an error. Mm-hmm. I bet you it had already created the stream and it was trying to upload the thumbnail, and the error was this thumbnail is the wrong type. And so what it did is it created it up to that point with the old thumbnail, couldn't update the thumbnail, and that's why it had the old thumbnail on it.
Makes sense.
But it had the updated title. Yeah, so that's a bug in OBS. I got to file. That's legitimately a bug. Hey, what's up, Graham? How's it going, brother? Oh,
I think Microsoft is one of the companies that will let Blizzard go back to doing what Blizzard does best.
You know, I feel like
Microsoft is just going to ignore Blizzard and let them do their thing.
Yeah, I feel like Microsoft's done a pretty good job overall from just what me watching from the outside in. It seems like they've been doing a pretty good job not meddling with the gaming companies.
Yeah,
which is even Mohang, right? Like with Minecraft. Like I was really surprised that they didn't just go in there and just chop that up into just garbage. They kept the same JavaScript version of it running alongside their Windows version. They still support all the mods from the community from before. I even think they did some optimizations to the Java version to make it like run better, and which they didn't have to do. They could have just let it die to force everybody to come over to like the managed version. And so I think that Microsoft is starting to learn a little bit, like after all these years of buying companies and just killing them.
It's better to just let them do their thing. And I think they learned from Bungie with Halo.
Netscape
and after Bungie split out and 343 and all that, I think that's where they learned a little bit.
Yeah, I think and Microsoft owns like shit. I looked at how many gaming companies they own. It is so many, dude. It is really so many. You're going to ask GPT-4. How many gaming companies does Microsoft currently own as of your cutoff date? All right, let's see here.
A lot.
So as of the as of the cutoff date of 2021. Okay, so I must be on GPT 3.5.
I've heard bad things.
343 Industries, The Coalition, Compulsion Games, Double Fine Production, The Initiative, In Exile Entertainment, Mojang Studios, Ninja Theory, Obsidian Entertainment, Playground Games, Rare, which made Sea of Thieves, by the way. Turn 10 Studios. Yeah.
That's crazy. Rare did Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Sea of Thieves and Banjo Kazooie. Turn 10 Studios, Undead Labs, World's Edge, and Xbox Game Studios Publishing. And then it said, in addition, they recently, as of 2021, they recently picked up Alpha Dog Games, Arcane Studios, known for making Dishonored and Prey, Bethesda Game Studios for Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Wait a second, this is cutoff date as of March 2021. The Bethesda buyout happened way after that. Okay, so just lying about the cutoff date. Was the Bethesda buyout
they've owned Bethesda for a while. Yeah.
For like 2 years.
I think you might be getting mixed up with the Activision Blizzard acquisition. That's the most recent. I'm thinking
the Blizzard one. Okay, my bad. My bad.
They've had Bethesda for a while.
Wait a second. They own id Software? Doom?
I didn't know that. Wow.
Wait, hold on. Is this a hallucination? Because I know GPTs can hallucinate. Let me see. Who owns ID Software or id? Microsoft. Microsoft legitimately owns id. I had no freaking idea. I never in a million years.
I think it came along when they purchased ZeniMax.
But check this out. You know who else they own? Machine Games, who created Wolfenstein.
Huh.
So how weird is it that
That's both sides.
Wolfenstein, Wolfenstein and Doom, Roundhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, ZeniMax Online Studios for Elder Scrolls Online, and then it said
ZeniMax owned a bunch of other stuff too. When they bought ZeniMax, that's where they got Bethesda and some of those other ones. Yeah.
So then you got the Blizzard and Activision, right? On top of that. So if I go to hold on here, GPT-4 say, okay, what gaming companies does Microsoft own? I'm gonna see if there's a I just found something that kind of made me a little mad. So I'm using another GPT program or LLM host called PoE. It's called Poe.
Okay.
And Poe is $16 a month, and it gives you access to GPT-4, GPT 3.5 Turbo, gives you access to Dolly, but it also gives you access to like 12 other LLMs, including all the Llama. Basically, not except for Google, they don't give you Google Bard, and they don't give you whatever Elon claims he created.
Grok.
Grok or whatever. They give you everything else. So it costs $16 a month, and you get all that. Well, I was paying $20 a month for ChatGPT directly just to get ChatGPT 4, and I can only query it like 30 times, right? Every 3 hours. So I canceled my ChatGPT to go over to Poe, but now I'm noticing a difference. If you go to ChatGPT 4 on OpenAI's website and you do a query, it says its data cutoff date is April 2023, which is really current, right? But if you go over to Poe and open up GPT 4 and you say, what is your knowledge cutoff date? It's 2021. So they're using a way older trained version, which is weird because the guy who made Poe is on the board of directors at OpenAI. So I don't get why they're using like an older version. I need to look into that, because if that's the case, then I can't say it's apples to apples, because I thought this was apples to apples, and it's not if that's the case. Let me see if there's other GPT-4s. They have GPT 16K, GPT 3.5 Turbo, 3.5 Turbo, GPT-4 30. Oh, GPT 30. Okay, never mind. There's a GPT-4 32K beta model. I think that's the one with the cutoff.
Okay.
What is your data cutoff? Nope, still September 2021. So that's still incorrect. So that's still older than shit. So if anybody knows this, please let me know if you also use Poe, because I want to figure out why they're different. Like, why in the hell is GPT-4 on Poe different than GPT-4 on OpenAI? They should be the same. Like, I don't understand why the cutoff date for the one that Poe is using is so much older when it's literally using their API. It's very weird. Daily Potato Joke Guy said, look this up. How many game studios did Blizzard Activision own? A lot. Yeah, no.
Microsoft now has like most. It's like Microsoft and EA now. That's basically it.
So like if I go to if I just go to what is it, like Microsoft Games? I think it's Microsoft Game Studio. Let me see if I can find their homepage here, because Xbox Game Studio, that's what it was. If you go there, they list all the game studios that they have right on the front page. So it's just go to xbox.com. So here, I'll put a link in chat there for you guys. That's where I'm at right now. And so they have a list of all the studios that you can go down. And just under Bethesda, you have Bethesda, Alpha Dog, ZeniMax, Tango Gameworks, id, Arcane, Machine Games, Roundhouse Studios. Then under Xbox Studio name, you have 343 Studios, World's Edge, The Coalition, Compulsion Games, Double Fine, Xbox Game Studio Publishing, The Initiative, In Exile, Moang, Ninja Theory, Obsidian, Playground Games, Rare, Turn 10, and Undead Labs. And then if you click on, where's the Activision? Why isn't Activision on here? I swear it was last time I came in here. Because there was another one you could click on, and it would take you under like you could drill down on the companies. Like you click on it, would show you the sub companies underneath them, because a lot of these game studios have other game studios underneath them. And why don't they? This is weird. They're not listing it. Did Microsoft somehow like lose the deal or something?
For what?
For Activision, because they're not listing it as one of their game studios.
No. I mean, it might not be officially closed, but as far as I'm aware, everybody, all the regulators and stuff have agreed that it can go through. Maybe it's not like officially official until the turn of the year or something, but the Activision Blizzard deal like finished.
It's a done deal. That's what I thought too. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I was, because I remember asking a GPT to give me a list at once, and it had all the Activision, it had all the
back in October
game studios under it. So wait, I wonder how many game studios Nintendo owns. Actually,
none.
I don't think Nintendo owns any. I think they're just their own thing.
Just them. Yeah, they make their own, and I think they let and then they have third-party developers and stuff that.
Yeah, because I used to work.
I don't think Nintendo owns anybody other than themselves.
When I worked at the Microsoft Redmond campus, it was right across the street from Nintendo's campus. And so Nintendo's campus had like everything right there. Like they didn't have like sub studios in downtown Bellevue. They didn't have their campus broke up into buildings all over the place like Microsoft did. They basically just had like a city block that was just like Nintendo World, right? It was like a couple of buildings and they were all Nintendo, and they had like the building that was like the warehouse, the building for all the testing. They had a building with a Faraday cage because they didn't trust their employees not to steal shit or to take pictures of prototypes and stuff. Apparently their security is like really hardcore. Like Nintendo doesn't leak a whole lot because they really don't trust their employees at all. Microsoft leaks all the time because Microsoft has no security whatsoever, and their security is basically just trust employees. Like complete. I'm not even joking. That's not even me being like facetious. Like you could literally get hired at Microsoft, walk right into Microsoft, go into your room and get on your dev box, set up your dev box, copy all the source code to every single, if you're a developer, if you're an SDE, get access to source code, copy the entire source code to every single project, not even the projects that you just need access to. You can get access to game code, everything. Download all that crap onto a hard drive, literally throw it in your backpack and just walk it out to your car and drive home. And nobody would ever even look at you. Nobody ever even ask you like, hey, do you got anything on you? Nobody even look at you or put you through a metal detector, nothing. Like you could just walk in and out of the building with whatever. You could literally walk into the burn lab and just grab a pile of media because they literally have it sitting there like candy. You just go by and they just think anybody that grabs media is grabbing it to go do installs on their machines in the labs. So you just go grab a big pile of media and just take it with you. You just throw it in your backpack, take it home. I used to use them for game coasters. Like I used to have or drink coasters. I'd have all these like CDs, the official Microsoft confidential build, 37582 Whistler, and I'd be using this drink coaster at a party. Yeah, the security is terrible. I'm actually surprised that they don't leak more than they actually do, just considering how accessible all the code is. Not to mention all the test machines at Microsoft. When you run tests on them, they're all running something called WTT, which is inherently flawed. It's an automation framework that has to, a lot of the tests that it runs requires elevated access, like as administrator, and a lot of it requires you to have a domain account because they're testing domain features. So all you have to do is go into the software and go, oh, I can't edit the job. I can't add things or remove things from the job. But the job just calls files. And these files are all sitting on a share that's read-write to every Microsoft employee. So you can just go edit a file in the folder that's like whatever batch file gets run by the test and say, instead, I'd like you to copy all the source code from Source Depot onto a hard drive that I'm going to take home. And then you just wait for it to run that job in the lab. It'll dole it out to some machine. That machine will run that file, do whatever you told it to in that file, and then finish the test and be like, I'm done with the test. Everything passed. And then it just ran everything you wanted. And so we used to use that all the time. Like legitimately, we would use that like security flaw to do hacks. Like when we needed to get something done. Like if we ran a test on a machine and the machine failed the test and we didn't want to have to run the whole thing back through again, we'd grab like 3 or 4 other tests that failed and we just basically dog pile them on in a batch file, throw them in the folder and name it the same as the batch file that was there, and then rerun the one job, and the one job would run, and then it would trigger all the other ones to re-execute on all the other computers and run. So we could basically just they secure it so you couldn't edit the job, you couldn't change when the job like executed or stopped, but as long as you knew the job was queued and was going to run at some point, you could go edit what it was going to call and then make it do whatever it wants. Like you had multiple attack vectors. They couldn't fix it. They said it was an architectural flaw. There's nothing they could do about it. So they're like, oh, we'll just have to live with it. So it's another one of those situations where it's like earlier we were talking about how DRM is always just an inconvenience because they always crack it like 5 seconds later. And it's like, we have to live with it. Like now every time my computer has to connect online, somebody picks up the phone, Mom, put down the phone. I lose my SimCity game or whatever. But the people that hack it and steal it, they don't have any of these problems because they figure out how to crack it, and then we have to live with it forever. It's like if they just left the damn DRM off of it, I don't think it would impact their sales at all, honestly. I really don't. And in the long run, the people are the cracked version will be available. Like so you're not gonna, and the people that
it's about convenience.
It's convenience. That's what
it's always about convenience. If you make it inconvenient, people that's the whole fucking reason that like Steam is so successful is because it makes it convenient.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
Like the fucking store makes it easy. That's all.
But my Microsoft story with WTT, the lesson there is just like DRM. It's like here you have these things called logical local users, LLUs, and that are basically like encrypted user accounts and credentials so that you can't see what the username and password is, but the computer can use it to authenticate as that user, if that makes sense. But you can also just edit the job to say this job needs to authenticate as this LLU, and then it'll net use the resource as whatever user is in there. Sure, I don't know the username and password, but I have access to anything that I can have it authenticate for me, right? So it's like this master key that you can use to take control of anything, copy anything, mess up anything, screw up anything. But you have to jump through so many hoops to create these LLUs. You have to create these jobs in a certain way so that they meet the standards and pass all the inspections and everything. But there's this one loophole that everybody knows that just basically circumvents the entire system and can do anything you want, and they can't fix it. So they're like, well, architectural flaw, we can't do nothing about it. But at that point, don't you think it would be smart just to pull all the shit out so people don't think that the security theater is working? Like at that point, wouldn't you just want to just trust your employees, since they already all know how to hack it and take and do this exploit, and it's already well known and documented? Like, wouldn't you just want to say, okay, we're going to pull it out so you don't have to spend 5 extra hours a day jumping through all these fucking hoops that do nothing for the security of Microsoft? I think that's stupid that they do that, but it happens all the time. I'm sure Microsoft's not the only company that shit happens at either. Like where it's like there's just one little like these LLUs. I got in trouble. I got in big trouble when I was at Microsoft because somebody was I filed a bug, and I said in the bug, I said that I can get the LLU username and password. And I put the repro steps in there. I'm like, all I do is I attach a debugger. Like we work at Microsoft, we have debug tools, right? So I attach a debugger to WTT-exe, which is the exe that runs on the client machine, WTT client exe. That's the thing that runs and does the job, right? It looks for jobs on the server, downloads the job, runs it, records the results, uploads the screenshots, debug data, and all that. It's the coordinator that runs the client coordinator that runs on the system. So all I have to do is just attach NTSD, which is a user mode debugger, to this process, and it connects to it. And then it can monitor every single function that it calls. I have private symbols because I work at Microsoft and have source code access. So I have private symbols that can read everything and show me the variable names, show me the stack frame names, the functions, everything. I can see everything. So now all I did was I just created a breakpoint on a specific function that opens up that LLU and runs the decryption algorithm, which then decrypts it in memory to the real username and the real password. And then as soon as it does that, I just dump those variables to a text file. And then I have that text file emailed to me using a little emailer program I had that internally could send an email from any of the test clients to any machine inside or outside of Microsoft. So if I needed a credential for an LLU, because there was often times where we had problems with authentication and we're like, is the LLU broken? Did they update the password, but they didn't update the LLU? So the way we'd figure it out is we'd go deconstruct the LLU and get the password out of it. And this is the method I used. Well, I filed a bug about it, and they're like, "Oh, well, just don't do that." Like that was their solution. We're not going to fix it. We can't fix it because you're using a debugger. The average user isn't going to know how to do that. But I'm like, this isn't a problem outside of Microsoft. Nobody outside of Microsoft uses this tool. This is an internal tool for Microsoft people, used by Microsoft people that all have the same level of access I do to debugging tools and symbols. So this is not a matter of, oh, this isn't going to affect the end user. It's like, this is our tools. And I've shown you right now that I can defeat any LLU you put in there. If you put an LLU in there for Bill Gates, I can bust out his username and password. And I have that now. And I can do whatever I want with it. I no longer need WTT. I can literally get the real username and the real password. Damn. And so then they created LLUs for smart cards because they had some tests they needed to run for smart card authentication. Sure enough, do the same thing. You go in, the same function does the same thing. It instead of decrypting username and password, it decrypts the smart card, right? To get the authentication token that it then sends to Kerberos or whatever, the authentication server. And so you can intercept that. And then when you intercept that, you can save that. You can write it to a smart card or clone a smart card. And now you can authenticate with anything it thinks you have the physical smart card. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, no matter how many people reported this and how we were all abusing it and how many tools there were on the Microsoft Tools website, like no matter how many tools were on the Microsoft website that could exploit this, like everybody, it wasn't like this was a secret, like 5 people knew about it. It's like everybody knew about it. Like literally there's a whole section of tools on the MS Tools website, like for dealing with LLUs and like little hacks and workarounds for like decrypting credentials and stuff like that. It got so bad that their solution was literally when you create an LLU, it's like, please do not use your own personal credentials when using an LLU. Make sure it's only a test account, because people were going in there and putting in their real like Redmond credentials, like their actual real name and password connected to their mailbox, giving them access to everything and all the resources. They were putting those into LLUs. Those LLUs are in the system. Any hacker that entered into the network that was worth his salt could have immediately figured out that there was a tool called LLU Decrypt and could have just figured out, oh, I'm just going to run LLU Decrypt on every one of the client machines and every LLU that's installed on them, because they all, whenever you create an LLU, it automatically gets installed on every single client machine before every test run. So if there's 100 LLUs, even if you don't use 100 of them, those 100 accounts always get created, or those LLUs get created. So you just have to get access to one of those test machines, either physically or by running something on it remotely or connecting to it with remote desktop and logging in. There's a million different ways you can get in there, right? But all you have to do is run this thing and it'll decrypt all the LUs to text file. And now you have a bunch of real corporate user accounts that you can do whatever you want with. So I guarantee you that's still the thing today. I guarantee that's still what's good. If you work at Microsoft today, I would bet you money that WTT, or they probably call it Atlas now. They were always trying to rename it to Atlas. WTT, Atlas, whatever they call it. It's still pig shit. But I guarantee you that you can still decrypt all the LLUs or the local logical users. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like when I worked there, the shit just never made sense to me. And by the way, I want to thank I Love Scratch. I Love Scratch. Thank you for that $5 tip earlier. I'm sorry, I don't think I called that out when you first did that at 11:15 a.m. You did that right after we started the stream, dude. You were the only super chat of the day, and we love you to death for it. Thank you, brother. He said, have you signed up for an MS alumni account yet? Can get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for like a half price. No, I still haven't gotten an alumni account, but I really should. I technically still qualify for it, as long as whoever reviews my application doesn't remember who I am. I don't think I have any like official black flags where they're gonna like look through a book and be like, oh, this guy can't get that. But yeah, I'd like to get the alumni program for two things. Honestly, I'd like to get it for the Xbox Game Pass, and I want to see if they give a discount on the month. Or wait, no, okay, you're not talking about Xbox Live. You're talking about the Game Pass. Never mind. No, that's exactly what I want. I'd love to pay half price for the Game Pass because I'm paying full price for it right now. I'm going to look into that. I'll definitely look into that. Hey, Eric, what's up, my man? He said that vulnerability you described sounds a lot like the Mimikatz vulnerability that used by both the NSA, GRU, and FSB hacking teams. Interesting. Hey, I love Scotch. Thank you for the $2. He says also you get a Prime membership. Wait, what? So wait, like a free MS Prime, like included? So if you... That doesn't even make sense because isn't the MS alumni program cheaper than a single Prime account? Whoa. Okay. I gotta write this down. Like this is gonna be my goal for today.
Yeah, Mac.
Somebody reminded me I need to sign up for the Microsoft alumni program. If you're an ex-Microsoft employee or you were there as an intern, you can actually be a member of this alumni program. I think I still qualify. I have to check. I got to make sure there's not a statute of limitations on how long.
Standing, right?
Sort of. Like as long as they don't know, as long as the person who reviews my application doesn't know me by name. But if I can get an alumni account, it gives me access to the Microsoft store where I can physically go to the Microsoft store and buy shit like cheaper.
Sure, yeah.
It up to a certain amount a year, I think they give you. But he just said, and I didn't know this, you also get a Prime account. And
cool.
And the alumni program, I think, is only like 50 something a year, whereas the Prime account's 100 and something a year. So you're basically saving half the price on your Prime account, and you get half off of the Game Pass, which I pay I think I pay $20 a month for the Microsoft Game Pass. So that would like knock that down to like $10 a month. So that's totally worth it. I'm gonna look into that. So Microsoft alumni program, Amazon Prime account, and half off game. God, I hope I still qualify for that because that would be amazing. That would actually save me a little bit of coin, and I'm down for saving some coin right now if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. We got a little off sidetracked and stuff, but
I like getting sidetracked.
Well, I think that. I guess a big question was like, is the live service thing? Is it negatively affecting the games industry? Like, I'm seeing kind of a schism. I feel like in where.
Well, let me ask you a question really quick. What do you mean by is it negatively affecting the industry from the perspective of the users or from the perspective of profits from the people who keep doing it? Because for them, it's great.
Just in a general sense, like, okay, so like this all started because of that headline of like, oh, Starfield is Starfield in trouble? People aren't playing anymore, right?
Yeah.
And it's a deliberately single player game. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It was not designed to be. I mean, there's a new game plus, but from what I've heard, it's trash. And frankly, just the structure of the game in general does not lend itself to an ongoing experience.
Did you read
right?
some of the EULA? The EULA talks about a multiplayer game. Like over half of the EULA talks about a multiplayer game. So I think that the goal is, I think they're working on a multiplayer game and they shipped it early, like they weren't ready. Because if you go through the
I mean, I
EULA and
could
you
see
look
it
through the
becoming
menu,
something like No Man's Sky,
that's what
right?
it looks like. It
If
looks
they
like that's what's
flesh
going
out the
for it.
base building and things like that, I could see it being something like No Man's Sky, where they then like, oh, there's DLCs that add more planets and things like that. There's already like fucking almost 2,000 planets or something like that. I don't know. It's but I think that that sort of, I guess the implication of that headline is that they expected people to be like, to keep the numbers really high, like what, I don't know, however many 100,000 people playing it still, when it has an end, like it ends, the story's done, like there's nothing else to do. And so is the perception, or is the I don't know, like, are we just so used to continuing like these live service games? Are we so used to that's what we expect from every game? Is that where we're heading? And so is like again, like Fortnite or Call of Duty, where they have like a season and like it's a new map and like all kinds of weird widgets and doodads and things that change the game and that kind of stuff,
new, right? Always,
right? Is that what we're growing to expect from all games?
It kind of feels that way. It does. Like looking at all the games that have come out, even just like recently, I see a lot more focus on games that are multiplayer, connected to the service, always on DRM, always buying DLC. Those seem to be the games that have the most longevity and make the most money by far.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
Like
right?
at Fortnite, right? You can buy all kinds of little add-ons and shit.
Yeah,
for
the
your
skins and things like
skins
that.
and stuff. GTA, I mean, to this day, I think has made more money than any other game combined when you calculate in like shark cards and stuff. Yeah, just insane money, right?
Off of GTA Online.
So, and then
sure.
And the one thing you notice too is these games that seem to have the always on new content and new stuff coming, they always seem to live forever. Like Fortnite's been around for freaking ever. Minecraft been around forever, right?
Yeah.
GTA 5, exactly, been around for fucking ever. So
yeah.
So I think it's probably safe to say that any company that's not following that model right now is probably keeping an eye on it, like wanting to follow that model. Like that's what they're aspiring to.
Right. I do think that, and that's where I think there's like a schism happening, a split happening in games in a general sense. You're going to have these, we're seeing these bigger studios trying to create a perpetual, revenue, right?
Yeah.
And trying to figure out, because like you have other games too, they tend to generally be competitive, but I'm thinking of, there's like a Weird West, The Hunt, I think it's called The Hunt Showdown, I think is right. That's sort of a continuing online thing. There's Dead by Daylight. That's another sort of like continuous, they put out new scary monster guys and new maps and things like that constantly, and things like that. And I think that there's a split. Like you either try to go for this perpetual revenue model of like, oh, we're just going to keep pumping out new stuff, new content all the time, or every couple months or whatever. And in an attempt for this infinite growth sort of late stage capitalism kind of shit. And which is like really fundamentally just impossible in my opinion. And then you have others who are deliberately, again, I think it's the same sort of concept that I've talked about, like with furniture, right? You have like the IKEA or the trash, right? That it's just like, you just throw it out there and you're just trying to get more and more money from like cheap, easy, quick nonsense. And then you have like the bespoke, handcrafted, like Stardew Valley, right? And like I don't think there's any DLC or anything for Stardew Valley, but like that guy, the person who made that, has made gobs of money and is continuing to make gobs of money because like it's come out on Switch and it's coming out on different things, that sort of thing, where like you have these more encapsulated bespoke experiences that are deliberately meant to be played and finished, and then that's it.
I mostly play single player games these days. Like I've been playing Dirt Rally, Flight Simulator 2020, although that's an always on game because of the scenery, right? I've been playing Forza 7 or Forza 8, the new one that came out, or they could just call it Forza Motorsport. And I
Isn't
consider
that
that
an always online though? Don't you have to be connected to Microsoft to play that?
I can't guarantee that, but I would say yeah, because you have to have the Game
I'm pretty
Pass,
sure.
right? Like for me, I have to have the Game Pass, so I have to at least
that's a little
verify
different.
that.
That's
True.
a little
That
different.
is going to be different.
The Game Pass is just letting you like to down. It's essentially like a subscription, so you don't have to buy it at $60. You pay your $20 a month, and you can just play. Plus, it's Netflix for video games, right?
No. When it opens up, it actually pops up a thing for the Windows Live and logs into my Live account.
Right.
So I don't know what happens if it fails. I haven't had it fail yet. Log in Live account. There may be a thing just play
Networking guy says Forza has an offline play.
Good.
So that's cool. Okay, so yeah, so that's then yeah, you could theoretically have no internet connection, play Forza, and you're fine. So that's cool to know.
Those are the kind of games
but I guarantee there's a chunk of that has a sort of live service feel to it, where you download new cars or new maps or different challenges.
Which racing game got a lot of shit recently for being always? Was it Gran Turismo?
I thought it was Need for Speed.
Was it the new Gran Turismo on PlayStation 5? I think I heard everybody complained about it. I don't know if it was because it was always on, because people were complaining they couldn't play. Like legit couldn't play because it was like, oh, you're not connected to the server, so you can't play. But also I guess you have to pay like shitloads of money for cars. Like the DLC used to be $1 a car back in like the previous GTA game, and now it's like $30 or $40 a car.
And that's whack. And I think it's silly. I think
a single car costs the cost of the game. Like that's ridiculous.
Honestly, it leads me again to this where like I would totally pay $35 for just the Call of Duty campaign. No multiplayer. Like keep make that like a $20 extra.
Do like Call of Duty's campaign.
Just do it separately. I love the Call of Duty campaigns that I've played. It's like an action movie with like where I play the shooty parts, and then I can just and I talk, and that's what I love about Call of Duty is it's the fucking Michael Bay movie that I get to play the action parts.
Yep.
Like it's freaking but I don't want to pay $60 for. You crunch that out, it's actually not a bad deal. $60 for like 8 or 10 hour campaign. That's not that bad. But like, I don't want to pay that for just the campaign.
Well, I know we got a bunch of pirates in the audience. Has anybody in here been able to play any of the games we've been talking about? Like hacked versions of them?
Somebody can point me, because I'm nervous about. I don't know how to pirate games anymore.
Well, just assume everything has a virus, because it does. Like legit, everything has a virus right now. So you got to clean it before you use it.
It's like, man, if somebody could point me to like, I would love to have all of the Black Ops games just on the campaign. I do not ever want to even play online ever. I just want to play all the Black Ops games.
Oh, Love Scotch said GT7 does have to always be online. So yeah, no, I was right about Gran Turismo.
Ugh, see, and
there's no reason, because it's mostly a standalone game unless you're racing other people. If you're not in GT Academy, who gives a shit?
I don't. Yeah, man. I think. It's just super whack. I think that there
no DRM copy of Forza Motorsport. He has the updates for it too.
Okay.
Wow.
Blops 2 was the best. I don't know. I remember. I think it was the original Black Ops. If you were playing on easy mode, the very first mission, you could actually get through the whole very first mission without actually firing a single bullet. On easy mode.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like you'd have to like hide a little bit, because like they're gonna hit you a little, here and there, but like you could actually just walk your way through the entire first mission without ever firing a shot on easy, which I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know there was that guy, what was the name, Only Use Me Blade or whatever back in the day, who would just play with a knife. Like in Call of Duty online, he'd rank just with a knife, never shoot anybody. He'd always just sneak up behind him and stab him. He's really good at it.
Thoughts on game versions like Gold and Deluxe and Collector's Edition? Get this version, you get extra missions, something skins. This one, day one. I think the value of Gold, Deluxe, Collector's Editions has dropped significantly. I think I was this close. I almost bought the collector's edition for Baldur's Gate 3 to get like all, because like it had cool stuff. Like you got a statue. You got like a fucking statue and like a box and
get like physical
and
stuff.
like physical fucking
like Halo came
sheets.
with the helmet. Remember? You get the Master Chief helmet.
That kind of stuff. That is to me worth. I will pay $200 and get like a fucking cool statue or like a cloth map or like that kind of stuff. I did end up getting I got the free upgrade to the deluxe edition because they just gave that to me, and so I got like a cool cape and like a funny helmet and stuff in Baldur's Gate 3, but I don't think it really I would not have paid, I don't think. Well, maybe. I really enjoyed I mean, I threw down early access for BG3 like 3 years ago or some shit. And so I might have probably paid whatever it was, $80 or something for the deluxe edition anyway. I paid 100 and something for both the Division and the Division 2. I paid for I think it was the deluxe or gold because it came with like the first year of DLCs and stuff too, and it was like cheaper. And I played the shit out of both of those. I got way more than my money's worth out of both of those games. I still go back to Division 2 sometimes. Same with like Diablo 3.
I don't mind premium content like being sold as an addition. I just don't like it when it feels like it should have been a part of the main game. And they just broke it out last minute to try to get more money.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, we could charge $10 more for the game, but we're going to charge it as DLC and then just sell a crippled version of the game where the person ultimately has to find out they need to buy it. Anyway.
Yeah. I think it's kind of lame to spend. I'm not going to do this, but like, I think it's a little lame that, like early access, like you get it 3 days early. You can play no, you're like the game launched on this date. It's just all the people who can't afford to pay for it have to wait 3 or 4 days. Like, I think that's dumb.
Or where there's no deal.
Huh?
Like, have you seen the ones where it's no deal, where it's like, oh, $20 more, you can get the gold edition that comes with 2 rare Ferrari cars and Forza or whatever, and then you buy it and you find out the cars were $9 each, and you could have just bought the game and just bought like whichever car you like best.
That kind of thing.
It would have been cheaper or the same money. Like, it's like, why do that? Like,
it's very hit or miss when it comes to some of the gold deluxe collectors.
Right? Yeah.
I think it's usually a good deal to like when it comes to like a Game Pass.
Do you feel like it shames gamers like when it says what like version you have?
I think so.
Like when you're
a little bit.
Oh, this person's got the gold version of the game, or this guy's got the elite version of the game, so you kind of see like who the poor people are and not take them seriously.
Yeah, I think so. And especially like a game like say Call of Duty, where like if you pay $120, you can play 3 days early. I think that's really unfair. That fucks up your rankings and stuff. I think that is so unfair.
Same thing for Forza. Forza did the same thing. Forza
Horizon, and that's not. I think that's really uncool. That's not fair. Again, just another reason to split out the campaign from the multiplayer. Let people pay $30 for.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's
so unfair.
Yeah,
it's really not.
Let them play 3 days early, but then reset their character on release day. You have to,
which that's shitty. I mean, I think that's shitty then for the people who paid extra money to play early. Like that's not. You shouldn't be able to play early, in my opinion. Like you're gonna have, especially in a competitive aspect, or like God, could you imagine if
AC's draft just gave us $50?
Oh my God!
Yeah, why is the smoke not going?
Man, I think like, could you imagine if World of Warcraft did that? They all pay $90 for this new expansion, and you can play 5 days early. You'd have guilds who would pay the money, and they would be world first raid winners, and that's shitty because maybe some fucking guild in Singapore or something can't afford it, and they can't compete. Like, it's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's complete ass. No, I agree. And wasn't Starfield the same way? Didn't you get to play like 3 days earlier on Starfield if you pre-ordered?
Yeah, BG3 as well. But it's a little different in that aspect because there's no competitive player. There's no competitive aspect. Like you could play BG, Baldur's Gate 3 a little early as well. Yep. I think that isn't so bad because there's no competitive aspect.
No, I do have a competitive aspect here. Even though it's technically not multiplayer, it is very common for people to stream these games being played.
Sure.
So buying them early does give you an advantage streaming, and you're going to get more people come to watch your channel because there's less people streaming because they didn't pre-order the game.
And that's true. I think that's a little different in a content creation standpoint. Yeah. But and I guarantee there's an effect there, a positive effect there, where if you can play early, you can get your content out. It's no different than like a review of a hardware product. If you can get your article out first, if you can get your YouTube video up first, or within the first 10 minutes of being able, like, you're going to win a little bit. And so in that aspect, but to me, that is the unfairness of that is a little different. And that's more of like a business thing, right? Where true. It does suck if like I'm not I'm not in a position where I can do that and then put the content out with everybody else.
Fair enough.
But there are other ways to build your community, build your business that aren't gonna that couple extra days isn't gonna make that big of a difference.
That's true too. Tony also said that Starfield has console cheats built into the game, so even if you start late,
I love
you
that.
can still go as far as you want, right?
Yeah, the console commands and stuff is great.
So I guess for single player games, like if you take the streaming aside, the advantage it gives you as a streamer. But again, if you're paying a premium just to get it early so you can do a stream about it,
that's a business decision.
That's a business decision, right?
Yeah.
And you're paying the money for that, right? You're right. Actually paying to get
because it makes sense to do that.
And everybody else can do it too. And it's not like it's limited. Only like 500 people can pre-order. That would be bullshit, right?
Oh, that'd be even worse.
That'd be way worse. But for multiplayer games, I do take issue with it though. Like exactly like when you're talking World of Warcraft. What was that one that everybody was? I couldn't stop hearing about it like 6 or 8 months ago, and then it disappeared, and I've never heard anybody talk about it again. It was
I don't follow. Wow.
New MMO popped up. It was supposed to be like better than World of Warcraft. Everybody was playing it. They were dying to get on the servers and shit.
New World or something.
No, not remember the name of it anymore. Like, but everybody was talking about it for like a short period of time, and then it all but just disappeared.
It was that one that Amazon published.
Yeah.
I think it was New World. I think it was New World.
Was it New World?
Called New World. Yeah.
That's
and it was frying people's graphics cards for a minute.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I've never seen an MMO disappear.
It was actually pretty decent. It had an interesting way of doing its thing. It's just it
looked badass.
I think I have it. I just haven't played it for a while.
I was like, dude, this looks amazing. Okay, it's still around. Whoa, save up to 60% through November 28th. Wow, they're really slashing prices on this sunbatch. So yeah, I used to hear people just talking about this nonstop. Like it was everywhere. Like it and now I don't see it at all. It's almost like it just flashed in the pan and it was gone. I don't even see Amazon advertising it anymore. So I don't know. Maybe it was the stigma around the graphics cards blowing up or something just kind of killed it, but I don't know. That's weird. Pop-up game. I know it feels like it. Let's hear 5 minutes to find out why the chat function was not available. The changes on YouTube get me every time since they made them. YouTube has been making a lot of changes lately. And I've been noticing too, when I log into my my dashboard for my YouTube channel, I always have these little pop-ups like, we've made updates to our advertiser-friendly guidelines, relaxing our adult content policies in some cases. Learn more. And then you go to like the next page and it's like, oh, during uploads, turning ads on now means pre-roll, post-roll, and skippable and non-skippable ads may appear before and after your long-form videos. And it's like, okay, click here for more. We've clarified in our shorts YouTube channel monetization policies, the audio from the Dream Track experiment is treated similar to how we treat other music. So it's like, I get all these new pop-ups when I pop in here, but then every day I come in here and it looks like they've changed the dashboard or they've moved something somewhere else. Or now there's like this thing that pops up. Oh, important notices. Your video has a copyright claim. Every day I come in here and there's another copyright claim on like an old video that's like ancient. And oh, good. This is an old one. I already fixed this one. Yay. So I don't have any videos for once. Yeah, I need to stop looking at my analytics. This is depressing. So happens when you don't upload videos. I do have a video recorded. I just got to edit it. Maybe I'll do that today. I'll give you guys a sneak peek though, since you guys actually took the time to come to Tech Talk. I'm going to give you guys a pro tip. Okay, if you or your friends own an Oculus Quest 1, 2, or I'd even bet this will work with 3 also. If you own is that Mr. D? Mr. D, what's up, brother?
I was just so engaged. I was like, I think we have an Oculus. We have an Oculus 2, I think it is.
Yeah. You called the barf machine though.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the vomit comet.
Comet. Oh my God! Here, let me get you windowed in here, sire. Let's see here. Where's David? Yeah, I put him up at the top because he's special. So we
I had to kick my wife out. I had to get the wife out of the house.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Make her earn her keep.
So she brought me chicken wings. So
what?
Yeah.
I married the wrong damn woman.
Dude, I love salt and vinegar chicken wings. It's so really good.
Miss Barnacules,
do they cook them in the salt and vinegar?
No. I mean, they're fried like normal, and then it's like a powder. You can get the dust and then tossed in the salt and vinegar dust, and it's like, dude, I'll eat like 2 or 3 pounds of these things. They're so
I got
good.
coffee this morning. Miss Barnacules,
I finished mine. I finished mine.
But check it out. But this is special coffee because my wife woke up. Because we went to bed, no kidding. We went to bed at 6:30 a.m.
Special coffee. He's got some barbiturates in there.
6:30 a.m. I know, right? 6:30 a.m. We went to sleep. I couldn't get to sleep, so I just stayed awake and just tweeted.
That's a great way to get some rest.
Right? I thought you deleted Twitter.
I did, and I found out that
were you sitting at your desk all night?
No, I found out the Chrome web browser on iOS seems to work pretty good on Twitter.
Oh, does it? Yeah, it's true actually. Yeah, I used to use it like that.
Hey, you know what they say? The loophole is the poop hole, right? That's exactly
for
what
some
I
reason
did.
you sound really low, Barnacules. Is that me? Is it me?
Wait, do I sound? Do I
You
sound low to you?
me? Oh, is it, maybe I can adjust your volume. Can I do that?
Check. I can
okay
turn
to
myself
me.
up.
Oh, interesting.
Check.
Yeah.
Is that
There you
better?
go. So now you match Aux.
Oh, all right.
Aux just sounds particularly crystal clear.
Interesting, yeah, because we're both showing the same bars on this side.
You don't fit. Yeah, I've stopped fiddling. I got a whole setup here, and I plug it in. I literally have a list now that I check off that I go through every single time, make sure everything's exactly set up, even though I know it's never changing. It sometimes changes, and I'm done. So yeah.
I'm increasing your resolution right now. I can do that.
Oh, great. They can see the pores forming in my skin. Age.
So
looks like the guy who plays looks like you look like the dad of that guy from Stargate.
Easy there. Easy with the zoom there, brother.
Oh my God. Now I feel like I'm in a meme video. I'm in one of my kids' meme videos.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. His beard acts like an audio filter. I love it.
It's like an audio filter, and it's also like some kind of you see the camera struggling for the detail.
Yeah. Hey, David, if I sound too low, another thing that you can do is if you open up Video Ninja, the little webpage thing.
Yeah.
Under my picture, there should be like a little slider. That slider's volume, so you should be able to crank me up there too.
I can't make it any louder. I tried.
Oh, it didn't work, huh?
Yeah,
Damn it.
That's as far as it'll go. Let's what I could do is I could maybe turn Aux down a little bit, and then.
Do I still sound a lot quieter than Aux?
Well,
you sound like
I would also have to say, Jerry, you should be speaking into the end of your microphone, not the side of it.
Oh, is that what it is?
A little bit. Because look close at it. You can see the sensor. It's not a huge difference. It's not like
right.
Oh, it is though. Oh my God,
it is a very directional mic. It's supposed to technically be like this.
Oh yeah, it makes a huge difference.
And this is how I had it earlier.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. It's so weird.
And if you get really close up on it, you're like, "Hey, how's it going, David?"
As opposed to my shitty mic.
And you should be really like we both should be like right up on it like this. This is how these sorts of
but Aux, that looks kind of weird. It looks like it becomes a part of your beard, and it's just it's a little it's a sci-fi horror.
I tend to kind of speak over it in a way.
This is a very fancy microphone. I quite like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I quite like it.
So, David, how's it going, brother? Popped in here,
man.
Tell us the story. How's life been, man?
Well, my wife's gone off to England again because she's there's a conference there. There's a jolly old conference about television. She's
Isn't that where she hails from?
Yeah, she's London born and bred. She grew up in London, across the street from freaking Buckingham Palace.
Whoa!
What? Which sounds really
pants.
Doesn't it sound fancy? Except she was
completely
completely dirt poor and lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with her family.
How in the hell is there dirt poor real estate right across the street from the castle? That seems weird.
It was above a theater, and it was a Christian theater that didn't allow smoking or drinking, so very popular with the artists. And they did like things like the Technicolor Dreamcoat and Godspell, and they just did all these sort of happy plays that would make people believe in God and things. So yeah.
Here, I'm tweeting out your arrival.
Please do.
David has arrived.
So okay, the last time we spoke, only a week ago, we were talking about Twitter, and I read one of your tweets this week. Ooh, look at that sexy beast.
No, right?
Oh, somebody was asking what the mic was. It's an Earthworks Ethos.
Ooh, that's pretty. That's very pretty.
I swear to God, it weighs like 7 pounds. The
I
base
swear,
of the thing
I
is
thought
like
it was made out of tungsten when I first lifted it.
Dude, it's like a single solid piece of stainless steel.
Does the weight make a difference for the sound? Is that a sound?
Man, you'd have to talk to Kevlar about it. I don't know.
Mine is 100% plastic.
I'm not a decibel nerd by any. Look, I was perfectly happy with the AT2050 that Jerry gave me. It was working just fine. And then suddenly I get a text message saying, "Hey man, you're gonna get a box showing up on your doorstep because like you should have the same mic that Jerry has." I'm like,
really?
okay, man. And I go look it up, and I'm like, dude, this is a very nice microphone.
I gotta say,
very
I like
nice.
Nerds. I like
and
nerds, especially with
he's like, oh yeah, Dolly Parton. She exclusively uses like the handheld version of this microphone.
Really?
Flat out. Yeah. I'm like,
if it's good enough for Dolly, it's good enough for us.
Yeah. Oh man,
Kevlar don't mess around, dude.
It's too much for me. I don't need Dolly Parton's microphone. Listen to me. Come on.
The opposite being, I asked my son I said, look, just buy me a new mic. I broke the last one. I need a new one. I literally dropped it. It just shattered. And
no.
what does he do? He orders me this
Look,
wonderful
man,
unicorn vomit of a microphone.
so much of it is more the EQ. I've heard podcasts that sound so crisp and delicious, and they're using Yeti snowballs. You know,
I liked my Yeti.
Yeah,
I liked my Yeti. That was a heavy one too.
I have a Yeti blue, or the blue
I think
Yeti.
I had the Yeti blue, and it was like solid, like just a
It's
lump
good.
of
It's
steel
good.
itself. Yeah,
You know where this
And-
thing
and-
shines though? The off-axis rejection. Like, so
Yeah, like-
see if I'm talking here.
I'm
Watch.
talking to it like
Hello,
this.
how are
Yeah.
you doing today? Now from the side.
I know it's
The
you go all
isolation
off like a
soft
lot
and
when it
yeah.
is
that
incredible.
Right now, I have an air conditioner blowing full blast behind me. I have a fan on 4, literally blowing at me, and you don't hear hardly any of that.
Nothing. I don't hear any of it.
So it cuts it all out. When I was using the Shure SMB8, it still could hear some of it, and that's the one that's like everybody loves the Shure SMB8. That's like,
Didn't you have the NT1?
Yeah, I have an.
I had the
NT1.
NT1,
The NT1 is great.
but I snapped.
That's the one that's the one that fucking Kevlar was like, bro, you need that one.
Does anyone,
Oh,
does
I
anyone want to
snapped
trade me like
the
8
connector
microphones for a 4090?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
what'd
was
you
looking at
snap?
3D print a piece for it.
Wait, which
I-
one
it
did
was-
you break?
I think it was the NT1. Was that's the USB one, but it's like a nice big heavy.
They did an
know the
XLR
N-
version too.
The NT does the NT1 have a USB
Oh, maybe
version? I
I'm
think
thinking of a different one.
They did have a USB.
Oh.
They do have a USB version of it.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry, it's a Rode. Mine was a Rode.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
It was probably the Rode. Yeah, or
At the Rode, it was lovely,
Yep.
but it snapped the connector, and I went to 3D print it, but it needs to be really like
Robust.
it's solid. And then of course the unicorn vomit showed up, so I'm like, well, come on.
And it works. Like it's
Yeah.
great. Like I think so much of it is dialing in the EQ.
You know what the material to use is now is have you printed with PLA Pro?
No.
So PLA Pro
Why
is
Pro?
it prints like PLA, but it has the strength properties of ABS.
Pro.
Oh.
So it's like the best of both worlds, and it's
as opposed to it's PLA, except it costs more.
Yeah. So here's the thing:
Right.
like with ABS, you have to have an enclosure. You have to have a really hot build plate, like 110C build plate.
Tried. Yeah.
And even with that, you're still gonna have a lot of shrinkage. You're still probably gonna have warping on the edges.
How did you know? Oh, never mind.
Because I've done it so many times. Then there's a material called ASA, which is all the properties of ABS, but not with as many noxious fumes, and it doesn't crack in UV light. ABS does crack under UV light. So, but ASA is really expensive. It's like another 20% more expensive than ABS. It's still tricky to print with. It's not as hard to print with, but it's tricky to print with. Still need a heated bed and an enclosure. PLA Pro, you can just print in a fully open printer. I think the bed temperature,
always use
fairly
PLA.
high, but not super high.
Always
And,
go with PLA.
But what PLA Pro, or they call it PLA Pro, PLA Plus. I've seen it advertised as a couple different tough PLA. I've heard it advertised as all this PLA mixture. I don't know exactly what's in it in addition to PLA to give it these properties, but I do know that it's really strong because it's used heavily in the manufacture of 3D printed firearms. And if it can handle if it can handle the shock from being, having little mini explosions go off, cranking around. They're not printing like the barrel or anything out of it, but like if it can handle, that was the biggest problem back in the day is people were printing all the parts for these 3D printed firearms out of like ABS, and then nothing would fit without a bunch of post processing, or they print out a PLA and it would just fall apart after like one shot. It
blows up in your face.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you're 3D printing a gun, not that I want to go into the weeds on this, but if you're 3D printing a gun, how much of that is 3D printed and how much of it is like pieces you've got to buy? Surely there are components you've got to buy.
It's gotten really confusing at this point, but yes, the most common 3D printed build, you're only really printing the lower receiver. Everything else is going to be just off the shelf gun parts here in America because you don't need any license to own any of that.
I see. So the advantage is that you can have an unlicensed firearm because you're buying parts rather than.
Yep.
Okay, I got you.
And the only part that has a serial number on it is the receiver. And if you print the receiver under our Constitution, that means you created it, even though technically the printer did. You push the print button, therefore you manifested it into destiny, and now it's yours. You can't sell it, you can't transfer it. It has to be destroyed as soon as you no longer want ownership of it. But you still have to buy the rest of the parts. Like you still have to buy like the slide, the firing pin, trigger group, all that stuff. However, that's not necessarily true that you have to do that now, because there's another group of people that designed like scratch built like versions of several popular firearms that require none of the parts from the original gun. that can literally all the metal parts on them are basically like you make the barrel out of like steel plumbing pipe. And you put the riflings in it using like an EDM etching method or whatever.
You're building a musket, basically.
No. You can print a high accuracy, like an actual high accuracy firearm. But the thing is, though, is this is where people disconnect. And I've tweeted a bunch about this actually just last week. The media.
Oh, you on Twitter?
Yeah, I am. Have you heard of it?
I'm kidding. I gotta berate you about that later.
I took Twitter off the app is gone. I kept my word. The app is gone. I'm just using Chrome now with the tab open.
Can you track your usage though? Like, I'd love to know what your usage is compared to what it used to be.
It's very well. Actually, it'd be lower. It definitely would be lower because I used to have the app just open all the time. Now I have to open the browser, go to the tab, futz around with it. Half the time it doesn't load. Half the time it doesn't render properly. So it was a lot easier back with the app.
All right, finish firearms, then we're going to talk about Twitter because I'm curious about that.
So the 3D printed firearm thing is the media down here, and I'm sure around the world, sensationalizes the 3D printers. You just push a button and it you grab it. You got a loaded gun cocked and ready to go right off the build.
Children are going to do this.
So I've tried to build a 3D printed gun twice, and I failed both times. And because it wasn't easy. It's like the people in the 3D printing gun community is like, oh, anybody can do it. Yeah, anybody can do it with a ton of practice, a lot of money. A lot of training on the 3D printer, learning the materials, learning the settings of the printer for their particular printer and their particular material, and the wind and the environment and the humidity. Yeah, if you know all that stuff, then yes, you can print and manufacture your own firearm.
And were you doing this for science or for an actual usable weapon?
I'd be scared to shoot a 3D printed gun, honestly, but it was more just to see if I could do it. And technically I can't even do it anymore because they passed a law here in Washington State that you can't 3D print lower receivers anymore. So, but the funny thing is like
I can hurt myself printing 3D McKays on a Stargate. I can't imagine what I would do with that. Yeah.
But what scared me is the media was going after 3D printing, saying that, and even New York tried to put a law up. They put a bill up for voting. Luckily, it failed miserably. But they put a bill up voting to have people need basically sign up when you get a license, a 3D printer, just like a gun,
like the drones.
Exactly. Same deal, right? So luckily that failed, but the media made the general public think that 3D printers just crank out guns.
That's all they do. They're gun machines.
But what I found when I tried to do it was it is far easier to just make a metal gun from a 80% lower kit. It's cheaper for me to do. It's more reliable for me to do because basically I'm just buying a hunk of metal that's mostly hogged out and I just have to drill a couple of holes and file a little thing and then it's done. Put the whole gun together and it's a full metal, absolute perfect example of what the real firearm would be.
But you don't need a license for, well, I guess technically you probably do need a license for it, but that's
no license at all. That doesn't matter.
Metal kit.
Metal kit, because the only part of the gun that is actually licensed is the lower receiver. That's the thing that holds the trigger group and basically holds the barrel and the chamber together. On a pistol and a rifle, that is the only serialized part of the gun. And so if you can get an 80%, like a piece of metal that's been milled to 80% complete, and you do the last 20%, that's considered you manufacturing it under our laws, right? So that means that you can buy these 80% kits. People sell them on the internet. They can be delivered to your house. You don't have to get them through a gun broker or anything. It comes in an Amazon box, crack it open, file some things, drill some holes. Boom, you got an unserialized, like, actual gun.
Did you end up doing that instead of the 3D print?
Yeah, but that would be if I wanted a gun, that's the route I'd go because one, it's cheaper. I don't have to buy a 3D printer and learn a 3D printer and go through 80 spools of filament and pulling my hair out to build a gun that might fire twice before it misfires and jams, right?
Yeah.
But the 3D printing community gets pretty mad at me when I talk about this stuff because they want to show people that, 3D printers are a really viable way to create firearms. And I'm not arguing that. They are. If you know what you're doing and you're a skilled person, just like somebody in a machine shop, you are going to be able to crank out, 3D printed weapons that work and are reliable. And they do have 3D printed designs that don't require any off-the-shelf gun parts that you can make the barrel, make the trigger group, it's not rocket science to build a gun. They're pretty simple, even fully automatic guns. In some cases, fully automatic guns are easier to make than semi-automatic guns. It's crazy, but it's true. But here's the thing is the media always goes after that and says 3D printers are dangerous. We need to keep them out of criminals' hands. They're making all these guns. No, there's a reason you haven't seen any robberies with like 3D printed guns. There's a reason that you haven't seen anybody like doing assassinations with like 3D printed guns. But you know what you do see assassinations with? Pipe guns. These are guns where you literally go to Home Depot, spend like $10.
Like the zip gun things. Yeah,
exactly. You buy 2 pieces of pipe and stuff some black powder down the hole in a projectile and a little electronic, something that sparks. 9-volt battery and 2 wires, and now you've basically got a hand cannon, right? Or
you could do that with one of those model rocket engines.
Yeah. And if you go on YouTube, there's actually a video. There's hundreds of them actually. It's called a slam fire rifle, And what you do is you basically just take one piece of pipe that's slightly bigger than another piece of pipe. There's two common pieces of pipe at Home Depot that you can get for different plumbing. And the two pipes just happen to slide perfectly together because one's outer diameter or inner diameter is the same as the outer diameter of the smaller pipe.
Right.
The smaller pipe is exactly the right diameter to hold a 12 gauge shotgun shell with the lip of it overhanging the exact circumference of the pipe, just by happenstance, right? So all you have to do to build this gun is you literally take a metal pipe cap. You buy two lengths of pipe, the two different size pieces of pipe. You buy one cap, steel screw-on cap for the pipe, and one screw, just a metal screw. And all you do is you drill a hole through the little metal end cap. You stick your little screw, you screw your screw in there and put some, some kind of epoxy on there, or some people use JB Weld. And so now you got a little screw sticking through the one pipe with a cap on it. And then you take the other pipe, you stick the little shotgun shell in it, it rests on the lip of it, and then you slide that pipe inside of the other pipe. And when you slam them together like this, it rams the shotgun shell into the firing pin that you just made out of the screw and discharges the weapon out the barrel straight ahead. And you just created a 12 gauge shotgun for under $10 from Home Depot, and you needed no tools but a drill to drill the hole.
They do that with sharks. It's it's like an actual thing. It's like a rod. You slam it into the thing.
Fire.
Bang, and shoots.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Or they make a thing. They make a thing for knocking like nails and stuff into concrete, where you put a 22 long rifle blank into the back of it.
Yeah.
And then you whack the back of the thing with a hammer and bang!
Cement. Yeah.
It shoots a rod into the concrete.
Cool.
As a matter of fact, one guy built
and so simple.
Yeah, some guy built one of the 3D printed gun designs out there uses those little blasting caps. And you basically put a 25 millimeter BB, like, because BBs, they have you put a 25 millimeter BB in the barrel. You stick one of these little blasting caps in it, you pull the trigger, and it sets it off, and it's enough of a charge to propel it like a 22. You basically have a 22 long rifle.
Potato gun. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, basically.
This is the stuff I used to look up on bulletin board systems back when I was a kid. I used to dial into these these hacker forums to find out about how to build. How do I make gunpowder and stuff like that?
So like, do you need to worry about 3D printers? Do you need
charcoal?
Does the average public need to worry about 3D printed firearms? I'm going to say no. I don't think so, because 3D printed firearms are a hobby, right? These people are not creating 3D printed firearms. Now, don't get me wrong. There are places in the world where there's no other access to firearms, and there's like coups going on and governments are taking over, where they have no choice but to use whatever they can get their hands on, right? And they are building them and using them. But if you are in the United States, you as a criminal, you're not going to go buy an Ender 3 for like $300, take it home, buy $50 worth of filament, print out a lower, screw it up 8 times, go through forums for 16 hours, figure out the settings, the extraction, the heat, the temperature, calibrate your printer until you get the perfect print. And even then, you still have to post-process it and scratch it and do an alcohol bath and try to get the layers tighter together by melting it. But
maybe we should get rid of real guns then and just have 3D printed ones. And then if you get mad, you have to go home and spend 6 months trying to figure out how to make the gun and kill the guy.
The bad guy that in your hypothetical though definitely knows a fucking nerd who would do all of that for him. You know what I mean?
And then a guy on Twitter the other day, he replied to my message about how, the media needs, because I was basically saying, media, stop sensationalizing 3D printed guns when obviously people can build pipe shotguns like out of like $10 for the pipe, right? A 7-year-old kid could go buy 2 pieces of pipe and a screw, and nobody's ever going to say a question about it, and they can just walk out with that, and they've got a shotgun.
A pipe bomb for that matter. Like,
or a pipe bomb. Right? Put any explosive material in there and put the caps on it and light it. Yeah, that thing's going to blow up and shrapnel's going to go everywhere, right? So they're trying to make it sound like these 3D printed weapons are just like you push a button and you just got a fully loaded, Tommy gun that comes off the thing. And it's no. And even if you do build the guns, it's like only a few master 3D printing guns have been very reliable. They actually have a contest where these guys take their 3D printed firearms, like the best of the best YouTubers, and they go out and do it. And like every second guy has a jam. You go to a regular firing range, it's like one jam might happen every hour. You go to this place,
like one guy who does a really good job of it. He's got like some system in place.
It takes a lot of effort to make a 3D printed firearm and to tune it and everything to get it to work and run properly. So I don't think it's more of a hobby than anything. So what they should be the media should be focusing on is, if you want to focus on something that has actually killed somebody, look at the pipe shotgun, right? Shinzo Abe in Japan, right? He was literally assassinated and the guy got 2 shots, hit him with both shots from an improvised shotgun that was basically.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, it was basically 2 pieces of plumbing pipe with caps on the back, and he stuffed it with gunpowder from fireworks, So he took, because he couldn't get a hold of gunpowder over there, so he used fireworks stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently
a million caps. He scraped a million caps into
right. Plus he had military training too, so it's like he understood like how firearms work and all that. So he put the pipes together, and then for the firing, instead of having a firing pin, because that would require a blasting cap, and blasting caps actually require, to build the little cap that goes on the back of the ammo is actually more sophisticated than building the gun. It's easier to build the gun than it is to build one round of ammunition from scratch, like modern ammunition. And so he basically just created a muzzle loader. He just packed in, the black powder from the fireworks.
He built a musket.
He built a musket. A blunderbuss with two, and each barrel was activated by a trigger that basically was a 9-volt battery and 2 wires that sparked the light to ignite the powder. And so that improvised garbage gun, it was an igniter. That's what it was, a piezo igniter, like from a barbecue grill. And he was able to do that. So the people that are just like so fixated on just like trying to take 3D printers away because they think that this is like ultra dangerous, they need to do the research.
Yeah.
And
they don't bother with that. It's all for sensational.
It's all sensationalized and playing on drama and getting the views,
wait till someone tapes one of their guns to it already happened, but tapes one of their guns to a drone or something. I mean, like that's I think there's legitimate concerns for technology being used from a terrorist standpoint or from a
for sure.
But in fact, I think that's I feel like that's what undermines the whole military industrial complex is that we're battling in many cases people who are spending a few dollars on their weapons of destruction, where we're spending a few tens of millions.
Ukraine is a great example of this. Like Ukraine, they are an industrious
first
people.
drone war. That's the first.
Right?
That's the first real prosumer drone war.
Like they literally created a 3D printed mechanism. It's like this cheap little 3D printed mechanism that they just whipped up in the battlefield, right?
Arduino and a servo,
and that's all it is. It's just a string that like goes through the pin on the grenade, just a regular grenade. And all it does is when it pulls it like pulls the pin out, and the pin is like what's capturing it. So like when the pin pulls out, not only does it throw the spoon, but it also drops the grenade. And they figured out how to improvise an aiming system by using the camera pointing perfectly straight down, and they can just draw a little crosshair on their controller.
It's got GPS. It's got it's got
everything.
The other thing that was fascinating, have you seen those cardboard drones that they're using?
Oh yeah.
The giant. They're not even giant. They're literally like flat pack IKEA drones, and you unfold them and cut out the pieces, and you have an airplane basically that can be used to drop or crash.
It's invisible to radar.
Sure. It's cardboard. It's fucking cardboard.
The radar doesn't reflect back off the cardboard; it gets absorbed, so it's completely stealth.
What if we spent all of our military money just on those? I mean, talk about an army that would never.
Just look at a drone today, like this right here, right? So this is a Yiffy Chinese FPV drone, right?
Right.
So this little guy right here, and this is old. This is old tech. This is 8 years old. This thing will fly a little over 100 miles an hour. And it has a total flight time of about 15 minutes. So however far you can get
far.
15-minute range.
Wow. You can get pretty far in 15 minutes at 100 miles an hour.
This thing is so powerful that I'd be willing to bet it could carry about 2 25 miles. You can carry a grenade with this easily. Like it literally, if you put on the throttle, it climbs so fast it just disappears.
Dude, and especially
taking out planes.
If it's cheap, it doesn't matter. You got 15-minute runtime. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to crash the thing as long as I can get close enough to my target. Like, go ahead. I'm out of range. It's going to fall and crash. Boom. Who cares?
But here's where it gets crazy, though. So the economy of scale, when you're talking about a consumer good versus a military good, right? Because keep in mind, the things that they're buying to like go blow up enemy tanks are the same things that you're buying for your kids for Christmas, right? So that economy of scale brings down the cost. Now they're buying these drones that have a flight time of almost an hour. And they can go like 60. They can like go 60 miles. They can go like 30 miles out and maintain radio contact. These light bridge setups, line of sight can do like 30 miles, right? So now you have this thing that can
or autonomous. You don't even need to.
Or autonomous, you can just plot a point, right? And these things will and they've got sensors, so they'll dodge trees and dodge it. Like if something's coming at them or whatever, they can get out of the way. And so you can send these things on missions, or you get live video. Like this thing's 30 miles away, and you're getting damn near lag-free live digital video to this drone. You drop your ordnance, and then you come back. You know how hard it is to shoot a drone that's only this big when it's flying like 1,000 feet in the air, and it's colored white, so it just
you got to jam it somehow or something. Yeah, but I feel like we should be investing in that more than we are. Like I feel like we're spending money on these massive, aircraft carriers and stuff that can be blown up by a couple of guys in a boat. I mean, like or not even a couple of guys to go. What if
Fun
you put
fact:
it
an
on
aircraft carrier has never been,
RC?
a U.S. aircraft carrier, nuclear aircraft carrier has never been sunk. It is the
Really?
safest place to be in any war, is aboard a U.S. Because it's not just the carrier itself, although it's built like a brick shithouse. It's the entire carrier group. Anywhere a carrier goes, it has a whole support system of submarines and everything around it. Like nothing.
What if it's a
can get
pathogen
close.
or something? Like, what if they send a pathogen or like a anthrax
That's
or
the
something?
scary
Its
thing,
kill
man.
wouldn't
That's
sink
what
the
gets
ship. It would
me.
just kill everybody on it.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, it's, again, I'm not. These are the things that keep me up at night, because I sort of go, I worry that we're spending all this money on a system that is too antiquated. Like
they overthink it, right?
It's way
Everything that they're thinking is like,
over-engineered.
how do we stop something that's huge, like 20-foot long giant missile screaming through the sky? And everybody's just like, forget about the drones. Like there was an assassination attempt, I think, like 3 years ago, like during COVID. Like in some nation, there was a drone that with a bomb strapped to it that like tried to like run into.
Didn't America do that? America did that in Afghanistan, didn't they? Did they blow up something with some?
We might have. It sounds like
it was
something
some kind of I vaguely remember a story about that.
I know there was a failed assassination attempt, and they literally named it. It was a DJI Phantom 4, which now today is a pretty old drone. And they basically
Venezuela?
I think it was Venezuela. Yeah. They literally just strapped like a super rudimentary explosive device on the thing, and they just rammed it, and they missed him and ran into the building, and it blew up. Like it still scared the crap out of everybody, but it was like they just couldn't fly it very good, right? But if you think about it, it's like these drones. I mean, FPV drone, this thing 100 miles an hour. And if you have you ever seen a professional pilot fly one of these?
They're insane.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
And they have AI now that's already beginning to compete with what they could do.
Right.
So you always see those guys out in the park, right? And they got their fat on, right? And it's like, so now you're over in Ukraine. It's like you got one of these little
video wigged up.
Did I just do a freeze frame on you? Here, hold on. Let me see if I can fix that really quick.
Is it Fat Shark? What is it?
Fat Shark. Yeah, that's the naming convention, right? Okay, okay, there, I'm back. So yeah, so my little, these are really old too, these old Fat Sharks. But the idea being is these guys can fly these things. There's no freaking way. Like, I don't care if you had a freaking Sea Whiz cannon on the side of like a naval ship, you would not be able to take out one of these drones going 100 miles an hour, whizzing and flipping over. Like, I can't even track the damn things with my eyes when they're flying.
Well, so we're talking about single ones. I mean, they're
now
able to do clouds of these things.
That's the freaky part, man. And they're little
clouds of them that can create images in the sky.
Yeah.
Imagine what they could do if they become weaponized. I'm sure they already are weaponized.
Yeah, just all it takes a little blip of Semtex or something.
Yeah.
But to me, that's like, that should be the future of warfare to me. I mean, like, we've got to a point now where we go, okay, we assassinate people, which is the reality is basically where most countries are at this point.
Why kill the masses when you can just go lop the head off the snake?
Exactly. Like, release a fleet of drones into Palestine and just take out the freaking Hamas guys instead of taking out all these Palestinians. I know it's not as simple as that, but
that is something I remember we kind of done in the past. I think it was the name that's popping. I don't think it was actually this guy, but the name that keeps popping in my head is Slobodan Milosevic. They knew he was in his house, like some mansion of his, and they knew so precise of where he was within the building that they were able to get this rocket or missile through like a bathroom window. And it was bonkers, is it blew out like the whole back of the building from the front, like the front wall still stand of this mansion of his, where it's like darkened windows and like kind of you can tell like something bad happened, but then like the back of the thing is just gone. That was crazy. I don't remember if that was the guy, but that was the whole point.
Soleimani was taken out with like a $30 million Predator.
And it's like, dude, if can you imagine a Predator drone now drops like 50 littler ones and they just go
no, but there's a good point.
Well, it's a Predator drone made out of cardboard.
So we used like a $30 million Predator drone to blow that guy up, right? Now, granted, we didn't crash the drone into him, so we got the drone back. So it wasn't like we lost the money. But for the cost of the missile that Predator drone fired to destroy that thing, you could have literally taken like a dozen DJI Mavics with hand grenades on them and just like
a dozen. We're like 1,200.
Yeah. How many of those drones you get for $100 million?
No, I think one missile is like 30 or 40 grand per missile on the Predator. Oh no, some of them are over 100,000. Yeah, some of the image, the ones with the image sensor shit, the ones that they basically look at an image and lock onto it, and then when you fire them, they track it by the image itself. So they no longer, they're not looking for a heat signature. I think most modern guided missiles do that. Like the ones that they have for the Javelin. The Javelin has that system where it's basically the computer is like back through the wire, and it has this tiny itty bitty little wire that comes off the back of the rocket when you fire it. And because the fire control system is still in the, you're basically targeting the thing through the scope, and the missile as it's in flight is looking through your optics and using your computer and the firing control thing to know where to go. And it's steering through the air with like this little cable winding out behind it. It's like the thickness of a human hair. It's super, super crazy technology, but you wouldn't even need something like that, because now we have these we have AIs that can run on like wristwatches and shit, right? Like they're already saying that some of these LLMs, they already got an LLM that'll run on an iPhone. They said Siri is going to be replaced, like the next year. Siri is going to be replaced with an actual GPT running on phone without the cloud. So whereas Siri has to like, go up to the cloud and get answers and reply back to the phone, this will run
and get it wrong every time. Yeah.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
But imagine this. What happens when you couple that technology where you go by your little your DJI Phantom, and now it has new feature DJI has this year where your drone can follow you around to vlog. And the way it follows you around is it recognizes your face and recognizes the clothing that you're wearing, and it like follows you to the park.
Yeah, they've got
right
doing that. Yeah.
Right. So what happens when you take this a step further with some AI or whatever, and we're like, hey, drone, we want you to vlog with Vladimir Putin today. You're like, and here's the flowers we want you to send to him. You strap the grenade on the bottom of the thing. It's like,
and here's 1,000. There's a swarm of 1,000.
There's a swarm of 1,000.
Try knocking those out.
And then they all go hide out. They all go at night, right, under the cover of darkness. They hide in bushes and around things and everything, get as close to doorways as they can. And the second in the morning, like some dumbass opens the door to come into work, 50 little drones running AI whip by him and start doing crazy aerobatics at 100 miles an hour through the hallways, down through the dungeons, up over.
Like, why are we buying planes? Why are we buying subs? Why are we putting people in danger in this way?
God, it seems really stupid now that you think of it.
Old people
we got to start our own country.
Still in charge. Old people are in charge. That's why.
We were going to buy an island, guys. I think we changed our strategy and we start a company called Forward Thinkers LLC.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could sell DJI Phantom with like some Roman candles tied to it,
3D
and
killers.
I mean, that's where a lot of this more advanced stuff comes from, is like guys doing weird shit in their garage, like that. There's that crazy tank. It's like a one-man tank thing that the guys were building in their garage, just like as a goof to like go run around in the forest and sand dunes and stuff, and then the military bought them out.
How and how? Yep. How and how?
Is that the wheelchair one? The wheelchair based?
Yep. They made a wheelchair one.
Yeah, in a sense, but it's like a pod with like big tracks and things. Then they turn it into a war machine.
How H&H Ripsaw is the thing that they're most known for. And they patented their track design because they have the only track that can go up to like 100 miles an hour.
Dude, it's so fast.
It's so fast. It accelerates so fast, and the track never comes off. Like it never derails the track, even flying off dunes and stuff. It's wild.
Man, but yeah, that's what it takes, is like, okay, some scrappy people who have very few resources are going to put together something very interesting, and then it's like, oh, now it's a big leap forward in technology, like, oh, this actually can work, and then
Ukraine's
everybody's
proving
doing it.
I mean, they've had to. Russia's had to respond to the threat of drones, and has done so by. I mean, I think they've done a bunch of jamming and stuff. Are you out of here? All right, buddy, have fun. Say happy birthday to a bag of chips.
Bring me back something.
Bring me back cake for Aux.
No, you know what this all reminds me of? This whole conversation reminds me of that Stargate Atlantis episode where you and the doctor are playing that game.
Oh yeah,
on another planet.
Yeah.
And like the two factions, you guys are all playing it like it's World of Warcraft or whatever, and like doing trades and stuff. And then next thing you know, you're like doing nuclear wars.
Yeah. But I mean, in a way, that's what's happening. I mean, we've already got
Ender's
kids learn
Game
how to
style.
use. Yeah, it's Ender's. Yeah, very much so. Like, I mean, it's and also the fact that all of these technologies, more and more of these technologies, are being based off like Xbox controllers.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Dude,
so
they drive submarines. They drive submarines with Xbox.
I just learned this. So a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a documentary on nuclear submarines. And Aux, you just nailed it. They had an Xbox controller, like literal Xbox controller sitting there next to the yoke, and the reporter was there, and she's like, why do you guys have this? Like, there's a joystick sitting on the console, but there's an Xbox
this
controller.
Is better.
They said they switched to that because one, the joystick costs like $15,000 and the controller's like $30 or whatever. but they also said that every person that came in picked up that controller and could operate the periscope with
There's
no
no
training
problem. Yeah,
whatsoever.
that's
It was
it.
perfectly intuitive.
I mean, and
so
that's
they
technology, right?
Yep.
It should make things so intuitive that you don't even think of them as technology anymore.
So they put them on everything now. Like they use them for everything. It's not just like in the Navy. It's like there's even equipment in the Army that they're like for piloting Predator drones and shit. It used to be you were sitting in a cockpit with like, you know, an actual like joystick and throttle group and shit. No, they're just sitting back with their Xbox controller flying a Predator drone now because it's just easier and they can respond faster.
I've thought about that with just my own car. Like, why do I have this freaking steering wheel and pedals and things like that? Why can't I just be like,
yeah.
Hey, networking guy said, "Hey, David, how many fist fights were there on the set of Stargate?"
Let's think.
That didn't involve you. That'll be a smaller number.
Angry words.
Oh,
no, I'm the grumpy guy. Right? I'm the guy who'd blow his top all the time, all the time. But actual fisticuffs, no, it's more. Strangely enough, it was usually between producers and cast or writers and directors and stuff. There was sort of more. I think there was between the actors. Yeah, I think we're all having so much fun. I don't think.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So,
no, you can
also,
tell
who's going to fight
Jason?
Jason? No one's going to go for
right.
No. Momo's mopped the floor with all.
I snapped at Jason a few times. You know, and I think he was just. It's like being one of those. It's like being attacked by an old foaming dog. I think that was the image he gave me. I think it was like.
What was the purpose? Like just irritated with him, or?
Oh, I'm so grumpy about everything. I just, you know, and I always had lots of lines.
Yeah.
And everyone else just got to, not just got to be fair, it's like Jason said, you think it's bad to have to say all those lines. Imagine having to listen to them. Like, so they have to sit around looking interested the whole time. But I would get frustrated. Like if I had like a quarter of a page or 3/4 of a page monologue, and then the next line is like, really? So that I could queue up the next one and they'd miss the really. And you'd be like, what? Come on, like I gotta go back and do that again because you missed really, you know what I mean, or whatever. So yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Hey, I feel bad. Tony J42, he's a couple times in chat. He's like, did I miss the Oculus Quest thing? I totally forgot that you came in right as I was talking.
Oh yeah,
about that.
sorry. That's me here to disrupt.
So because I promised everybody I was going to tell them my super secret squirrel thing that's going to save them tons of money on their Oculus Quest. Right. So Oculus Quests have a terrible little flaw. Both the Oculus Quest 1 and the Quest 2 both have this flaw, and that is after a while, the little thumbsticks on the controllers start to drift really bad, and the buttons on the trigger will stop registering, or they'll just phantom fire, like they'll just click without you touching them. And so the controllers just get all wonky over time. And so my son's Quest 1, he used it so much that both controllers drifted so bad that when you got in the game, the character just basically did this like it was drunk. And if you touch the stick, it would just make him shake back and forth. You could never get it to stay still. It was just like straight on.
Oh my 100%. God, I feel sick just thinking about it.
It was bad. It was really bad. So he couldn't even play the game anymore. Like his friends, he was trying to play games with his friends and he couldn't. He'd just sit there in the corner and just bang into stuff, right? And so
you don't want to be that friend,
right?
You don't want to be that guy.
So I took my Quest 2 and I just gave it to him. I said, "Here, you know, you play VR every day. You should have this." And I took the Quest 1 and just threw it to the side because the controllers were like $150 each to replace them. So I'm not going to spend $300 on controllers and you buy a whole headset for that. So I gave him the Quest 2. Now, fast forward about a year, he's a heavy user. Like he literally plays this thing at least 4 hours a day, every day.
Really?
Heavy user. He's like,
does he get sick?
No, not at all.
Doesn't.
Not at all. That's the thing about kids, man. You get them started on stuff when they're young and it's like their brain just gets programmed to handle it. Yeah. So he can be in there, but absolutely no negative effects whatsoever. He comes out and he'll go ride his bike and run around the neighborhood. It doesn't affect him at all. So anyways, he brings in his Quest 2 controllers. He's like, "Hey Dad, they're drifting. They're doing the same thing as the Quest 1 did." And I was like, so I put it on and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is terrible, dude." Like it was so unplayable. And it even felt weird. Like the little stick was even like flopping around and stuff, like something was loose inside of it. And so I'm like, damn, I go look online. I found them for it was $150 for a set. Luckily, they're cheaper than the Quest 1 controllers, but direct from Oculus. But before that, they were way more expensive. Like there was a time where it was over $200 to get the replacement. So I never did it. I was like, so I'm like, you're just gonna have to live with these controllers until, you know, maybe Christmas rolls around. We get you a Quest 3. I don't want them to know, but we're gonna get him one because people gave us the money on the Twitch stream. So we're gonna make that happen. Yeah. So
nice.
he has no idea either because I fixed the controllers and I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad I fixed the controllers because we can't afford a Quest 3." And he's like, "Oh no, it's okay." He's such a cool kid. He's like, "Oh no, I don't need that. I don't need that, Dad. Like, I'm thank you for fixing my controllers." It's like he's gonna be so surprised. So he's been playing like the Quest 2 every day, and it was sad. He didn't play it for like 3 days, and I'm like, "What's going on, kid?" He's like, yeah, the controllers are just too bad. I can't play. It doesn't do it. Just I get in there and I just slam into the wall, and my friends make fun of me because I can't play. So I went and looked on YouTube because that's where you're supposed to go when you want to fix something. I said, YouTube, tell me how to fix messed up Oculus controllers. And I found like 20 different videos, and I'm going through and flicking, and there's like, that one's not going to work. That one's not going to work. And I click on one where a dude is using mass airflow sensor cleaner from a car. And he shows how to disconnect, how to take the controller apart, because you have to take like there's a piece of plastic on top that like protects the electronics underneath it, so you can't get a clear angle to spray it. So and it's all glued on. It's not screwed on. It's glued on. So you have to pry the glue up, heat it with a hair dryer, pry the glue up, and then once you take the little top pad, the little black pad off the top of the controller, you then pop off the thumbstick, and now you'll be able to see down into the mechanism of the thumbstick. Like it's got the little it's not a potentiometer. It's like a Hall effect sensor thing, but that's what's all screwed up is in there. Hose that thing out, just flush that whole sumbitch out. Make sure the battery's out of it. Flush it out with mass airflow sensor cleaner, which is basically just isopropyl alcohol and I think was it ethyl ether or whatever. And make sure it's plastic safe though. They do have some mass airflow cleaners that aren't plastic safe, like the older ones, but if it should say plastic safe on the front of it. Spray it in there, right? And then what you want to do is work the thumbstick around as much as you can. Click it down, up, click it, move it around, spray it again, click it, spray it again. Just sit there and do that for like 2-3 minutes. And I also, while I was there, because you was having problems with the trigger and buttons, I just hosed it all down. I hosed down the inside mechanism for the buttons. I hosed down the inside of the trigger. I just got the whole thing drenched in mass airflow cleaner. And so when I was done, I shook it and slosh it around inside of the controllers. Just work it into everything you possibly can. And then I had a moment where I was like, oh shit, I bet you I destroyed this controller. Because I mean, it literally had like liquid inside of it, but I didn't realize how fast that stuff evaporates off. Like I put a hair dryer on it, and 30 seconds with a hair dryer on medium heat, and there wasn't a drop of liquid on it anymore. Like it completely
evaporates so fast.
Yep. So I did that with the first controller, and then I was like, before I put it back together, I was like, I'm gonna try this and see if it works before I waste any more time on the other controller. And I boot up the headset. And immediately when I boot up the headset, I noticed the character's not moving. I grab the thumbstick, I start to move it to the left. He moves to the left. I move to the right. He moves to the right. I'm like, okay.
So what are you flushing out? What is what's getting caught?
It's got to be just like gunk from like dead skin and stuff working its way down in there from like moving your thumb around like for a year.
Is it wearing away at its own plastic at all or anything?
It could be. It could be like little plastic bits inside of it and stuff. Whatever it is,
those units are so sealed. I can't imagine getting.
Yeah, you could use electrical contact cleaner. Be careful with carb cleaner though, because some carb cleaners aren't plastic safe.
Yeah, they can be melty.
Yeah, because it's a lot of those cleaners they add other ingredients. Don't melt your plastic. But mass airflow sensors designed to go on plastic because mass airflow sensors are plastic. They're plastic with a metal wire. So if it's specifically MAF sensor cleaner, it should be plastic safe. So I did that to both Quest 2 controllers. I went and did the calibration, and when you do the calibration, it literally shows like a little drawing. Yeah. And when you move the stick, it shows like an animation of where the stick is. No drift at all. It's like brand new out of the box again. Like when I do the circle, it doesn't even skip a pixel. It goes all the way around one way, go around the other, move from the center to the left, to the right, up and down. It's perfect. So then the second controller, I do it. Perfect. So then I give him the controllers back. He freaks out. Like he puts it on. He's not even playing for like 2 minutes. He's already like, "Oh my god, Dad, they're like brand new again.
Is magic.
He's magic. It's funny. I hear him the whole day. He's down there with his friends on there. Oh, my dad fixed my controllers. Oh my gosh, because they were like, wow, you're not shaking anymore. They thought they were playing with Michael J.
You're
Fox.
Not shaking and curled up in the corner. Yeah.
So, hey, come on, you got to work on the MJF, the Michael J. Fox joke there. So I went and grabbed. Then I thought to myself, I'm sitting there. I'm like, wait a second. And I shot this all as a video. I was literally in my shorts, sitting on my bed with no shirt on, and I shot the whole video here on this iPhone. And I'm going to edit it and upload it to YouTube. So then I'm like, wait a second. Whatever happened to that Quest 1 that I had? Because the headset worked fine. The controllers were shot, right? And I'm like, I love the Quest 1. It had OLED screens. It was lower resolution and lower refresh rate, but it had these crispy OLED screens. Like if you wanted to watch movies, it was excellent.
I have one somewhere.
Oh, dude, if you have, and I didn't know this. They updated the firmware, so the hand tracking is perfect now. When I first put it away, the hand tracking was so janky that it wasn't even usable without controllers. Like that's why I retired it in the first place, because the controllers were broken. I boot it back up after not turning it on for like a year and a half, 2 years. And I update to the latest firmware, and I put my hands out in front of me, and I'm like, it's tracking my hands like perfectly with no lag. I can pinch to click and everything. So I didn't even need the controllers to like watch YouTube movies and stuff. So then I'm like, wow, I forgot how good these OLED screens look. Like this is actually a pretty badass headset. So I grab the controllers, I turn them on. completely unusable, like completely unusable. Like literally one stick is just stuck over sideways, just turned in a circle forever. I go into the calibration menu, and if you move the stick the other direction, it just sits there in the middle and just shakes and then slams to the side, shakes, slams to the side. Completely unusable. It was like somebody was just dumping metal shavings into it. And so I was like, oh crap, I wonder if the same process will work on these. But the problem is those are super hard to take apart. Like the Quest 2 controllers are super easy to take apart because they're just, the top piece is glued on. You don't have to take the whole controller apart. With the Quest 1 controllers, you have to tear the whole thing apart. You have to take every screw out of it, like layers of an onion, tear it down. I wasn't ready to do that. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to spray this mass airflow sensor cleaner by the gallon. Like I literally hosed it in until I was shaking it. You could just hear the controller going with like alcohol pouring out of every like little crack on it. And so I did that 2 or 3 times, and then I did it with the other controller. And sure enough, I did not expect it to work because these controllers were even worse than the Quest 2's controllers. I boot up the damn headset and I grab both controllers. It is perfectly dead straight. Nothing is moving.
Wow.
I put my finger on the thumbstick and I just start slowly moving. It's like even just the most minute movement, and it speeds up, slows down with my thumb. I go into the calibration. The calibration's perfect. It says the range of movement is perfect. Your controllers are like new. And so I completely recovered that. So I installed the virtual desktop on it. Now I can connect it over my network to my computer upstairs and literally play any game like Half-Life, Alyx, any of the latest VR
like
games.
The Barnacules Oculus Fix kit.
Hell yeah, man.
add 20%. Ship it all out as a combination.
Just go get some of those cheap little squirt bottles and put like
canned air,
in there.
Canned air and spray stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I should sell it on my merch store. Be like, yeah, you got the solution. Maybe link to the video that gave me the idea.
I want to bug you about Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm curious to know about the Twitter stuff because I read your tweet about what you can do to up your visibility on
my gaming of the systems.
No, I don't want to know what the gaming of the system is because I read your stuff about the gaming of the system, and by the end of it, I was like, dude, what the F are you doing on that platform? Like, if that's what's required, if you got to suck up to the boss and remove stuff that you want to say, that is not a platform. That's just not a good platform.
You're right. But the honest to God truth is I can't leave because the 114,000 people that follow me refuse to leave.
And there's something fun about like figuring it out. Playing the game in a way. Like sure. I know Jerry's like brain enough to know that like it tickles.
I love that aspect.
Knowing that he's like,
So check this out. Here, let me read some stats.
It's a puzzle, and you fixed it, and you figured it out, and it's awesome, and it feels good.
But the Elon part feels so wrong.
Yeah, that's why I'm spending more time on Threads. Honestly,
are you liking Threads?
I took Twitter off of my like quick launcher thing. I got a note, so I slide to the side, and there's a bunch that I use all the time, and I put Threads instead because like it is generally just a more positive place. And I've discovered people who are a lot more aligned with my I guess it is a for now.
That's the problem. Twitter was amazing when it started. I mean,
Zuckerberg does. He's like, I do want it to be like that though. Like they're like deliberately.
I trust him.
Well, yeah, as far as but as far as
he's getting better. I think he was.
I think with what they've been doing with like their AI stuff and being really more open and whatnot.
I agree.
Yeah. But so far, it seems to be a nicer place. And although I strangely do get one thing that stood out to me interestingly in the last, like, I don't know, maybe week or two. And I don't know what this says about my algorithmic like statistics or whatever. But a lot of sober living accounts just show up in my For You. Yeah, like, oh, hey, I'm 24 days or 9 months or whatever, like sober and this and that. And I'm like,
interesting.
I
don't get any of that.
They're trying to tell me something. Like they're trying to like. I don't speak much about my vices, and so it's just very interesting.
That would make sense for me to get that, but I don't get any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm like,
I make ad revenue.
It's a little weird.
I make ad revenue on Twitter.
Do you?
But here's the thing: the ad revenue last month was $65. I made ad revenue. That was the first month that I finally signed up.
That's like from people seeing your tweets and stuff like that.
If they see an ad near my tweet or whatever, there's a rev share, right? So between January 31st and October 27th, I made $65, and that was just from advertisement rev share. Guess how much I made for the next month?
1,000.
$18.
Oh,
So because so many advertisers fled the platform over that period of time, the rev share dropped from $65 down to $18. So basically what he did is he threw out a ton of money that month, to try to get people like to join the program and get on board. And then the next month, the real numbers came out. And so now I'm gaming the system to see what kind of numbers I can produce in another month. So because it's part of my experiment that I'm doing here. And I'm all in on this experiment, by the way. I am literally subscribed to Elon Musk. I pay $4 to subscribe directly to Elon Musk's own account on X, because looking at the source code, you get a bonus for following Elon. So why would you not get a bonus for also
I guess having him blocked isn't working for me?
Yeah, that's probably not working to your favor. No, if you look at the source, if you look at the source code, there's some things that you can see straight up, and then there's things that are inferred. Like you can see a function where it's pulling data from a source that you can't see. Like there's a list of words or a list of account names that you can't see, but the function implies what would be done with those accounts, and then you can infer from that what those accounts must be. And so a lot of those accounts have to do with Elon. So your best bet, if you want to game X and you want to get a lot of exposure on X, follow Elon Musk, SpaceX, Tesla, Boring, right? The Boring Company. You also want to make sure you follow XAI and Grok accounts, because the XAI and Grok accounts are now being forced trending. Like they're not trending on their own. He's forcing them to trend. So if you use those hashtags, you get a boost. If you add a unique video to your tweet, you get a 400% boost over it having no picture or video. So even if you just use AI to generate like some stupid little random video of colors or whatever, just put it on there, right? And just
they're saying video in general, though. Forget even the algorithms. Video itself is a better
itself will give you exactly. But the algorithm does give you a 400% bump in viewership just by having a video on there. If you do a picture there. Yeah, if you do a picture, it's 2x as long as it's a unique picture. But if it's a picture that matches the checksum of other pictures that have been uploaded, then it can actually hurt you. So you want to try to make, and that's where AI content is great. Like I post a lot of AI content because it's always going to be unique, and I'm going to be the first one to post it every time. Therefore, it gives me a high rank. And just to give you an idea, just using the knowledge that I picked up from the source code, I had 3 tweets last week that all hit between 50 and 70,000 impressions for a single tweet. And before that, I was lucky to get 500. So this was like a big jump. And but again, you said I have a tweet. If you guys want to know all the things that you can do to game the system, I list them all out.
Yeah, the tweet's great. The tweet's fantastic.
It'll teach you everything I know. I don't hold anything.
It's fascinating stuff. As long as it's just an experiment, then that's fine. And that's what I want to ask you. So what you were doing, because
so here's the truth. I do have to stay here for a while because I can't get people to come off the platform. People are lazy, and they just once they're invested in a platform. Because here's what happens is basically somebody's like, well, I don't want to leave because all my friends are here, and then their friends are like, well, I don't want to leave because you're here. And it's like, who's going to make the first move? And then that first person makes the move, and they're like, okay, I made the move and I'm over here. You guys ready to come over? And they're like, oh, but you just moved over there. The other guys didn't move over there yet. And then the other guys are going to be like, oh, but if I move over there for him, I mean, how do I know you guys are going to follow me? Right. So everybody's just like, even though we hate the platform, and even though it it interrupts a lot of our communication and everything, or they just don't know, and they don't know the algorithm, or maybe they're in alignment with the algorithm without even trying, just because of who they are.
Oh God, there's a lot of, the support for Elon. When I look at it's ridiculous. I mean, it's just all blue check marks saying, yeah, you're right. I mean,
Yeah, and the truth is, like, the bots, there has never been more bots on Twitter. Like
it's so bad.
I am 100% sure that this is the highest bot count that this platform has ever had in history.
I like how he stopped talking about that after he was forced to take over. Like,
oh really? Of course. He was going on about the bots.
No publication of how many bots there were, or how Twitter lied about it, or anything like that. It just is like he just stopped talking about it.
Do you think he'll sell it?
No. I mean,
so,
I can see where I can see where like a private equity firm might buy it from him, but or something like that, or like controlling interest or something. But no way, man. It's too tied up to the ego.
Then he appointed a loss.
It'd be a publicly shaming loss if he had, I don't even know how he's going to afford paying for it. Frankly, I don't know.
So he appointed a CEO, right? That doesn't CEO. Like she doesn't do anything. Elon still does all the tweets, makes all the rules, announces all the features. She just hired somebody to sit in a chair. That's all.
To take the blame when things go wrong.
By the way, he did finally let her put CEO in her name. I called it out a week ago. I was like, can you guys believe it? Like, I couldn't even find the CEO of Twitter because she didn't even have CEO in her name or on her bio or anything. And then I went back there a week later, and now it says CEO because I think a lot of other people were complaining about it too. And it was like, yeah, how can you be the CEO and not have?
What is
CEO?
her name again? What's the woman's name?
I don't even remember. She's so just because she never tweets. You never see anything from her on the platform.
No,
so I can't even remember.
Constantly
her name.
doing these really uncomfortable sort of supporting of stuff.
Well, she has to do damage control for him, of course, you know, and he's a lot of damage control to handle.
I feel like if he sold it, he could sell it not nearly for what he bought it.
Not even close. Not for half. Not even.
But I feel like the platform would be worth more. If he wasn't in control of it.
Yes.
Like, 100%. Undeniably.
Like, so could he sell shares in it or get out of it? Or get out of the control.
I mean, you can try and go public with it if you wanted.
I think he's like Jerry. He's just addicted to it.
If he goes, possibly, if he goes public with it, though, then he runs into the problem that he had in the beginning, which is he can't do the things he's doing legally.
Right.
So everything he's doing
as a public company. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, when it was a publicly traded company, they had to follow whatever's in the interest of the investors.
Right.
As a private company, it's whatever's in the interest of him and only him.
Right.
And when he's public company, there's SEC oversight to make sure that he's not manipulating the stock. When he's private, he can manipulate it all he wants because it's not being publicly traded, and he picks who can buy it and who can sell it. So he pretty much controls that, right? So that's why he took it private, was because he did plan to change all the rules, and that's exactly what he did. And if you look at the source code, it's like it is very much a follow means nothing anymore. Like if you follow somebody, all that's used for is to inform the platform what type of content you like, not necessarily the person you follow. And what I mean by that is, if you follow me because you like 3D printing stuff, and the majority of stuff I post is like 3D printing, what's going to happen there is if there's another person that's on the platform that benefits Elon more than me, but you follow me and not that other person, he'll slowly move me out of your feeds and move the other person into your feeds, so that you will slowly transition to the other person that's making similar content, that's keeping you engaged with that person, makes them more money.
So would your suggestion be then to me, who doesn't want to, like, I mean, I'm fascinated by your experiments. I don't.
I hate being beholden.
I don't want to play the game. So basically, you're saying there's no point. I might as well just bail then.
If your goal is to be here to be able to like communicate with fans and have people see the stuff that you actually type, that want to see the stuff that you type, then yeah, it's a futile effort. Like
really, okay,
yeah, it's not. And here's the thing: as long as you only talk, the only exception to this rule is if you only talk about things that are positive from the algorithm's perspective, meaning don't talk about anything political, don't talk about anything that's anti-Elon, or talk about companies, or link to anything that's off the platform that would take eyes off of the platform.
Yep.
If you don't do those things, then you'll have a pretty decent viewership from your audience. Yeah. But if you cross those lines, that shit adds up really, really quick. Like the thing I'm finding now is I had to go back and delete about 1,000 tweets.
Yeah,
over the course of it.
That was one of your things.
Yeah. I had to delete a bunch of tweets that had links to YouTube, because if you look at the algorithm, it looks at your last 1,500 tweets from your last tweet you did. And those last 1,500 tweets are all individually ranked and then averaged. And then that average is your starting point for your rank for your next tweet. So like if I tweet something that's like, oh, I love Elon, he's the greatest thing ever, blah, 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 then that would be a high ranking tweet because the sentiment would be positive towards Elon and his interests. So that would give me a bump. I could put an image on there. That would be a bump. I could use 2 trending hashtags for the Elon has trended. That'll give me a big bump. If I do all those things, I'm going to be like highly visible, right? Except for one thing. If I have my last 1,500 tweets are just fuck Elon, and I'm linking off to another platform that Elon doesn't like, then that will demote me down so far that even if I just lick his butt, nothing's going to happen. Like I will not, nobody will see it. And so I used other accounts throughout all of my testing. I've used a secondary account that follows my primary. And what happens when I make a post, I go to the secondary account and I look at the For You and the following feed to see if my tweet shows up. And if my tweet doesn't show up, then I go back and I evaluate the tweet and then I modify my bot. So I have a bot. This is how you guys have probably noticed I appear a lot smarter in my tweets lately. Like if you've been reading my tweets, they seem a lot more intellectual.
I've been kind of avoiding Twitter.
Yeah.
So
well, good. I 100% support staying the hell away from Twitter. And the second that everybody else goes the same way as David, then I can leave too. So please fucking flee the platform. You'd save me some money at this point. But the thing is,
go.
Yeah, the problem is I brought my entire audience here. Like hardly any of my audience is on Facebook or Instagram. This is where I brought everybody. And it was just the most terrible decision because it's like this is where people learn about when I'm doing and when I'm streaming.
It wasn't. No, this is where I built my audience. This is where everyone
it was bad bet. Bad bet.
This was like my homepage. This is
Thank
like
you, AC's drafting. Woo! Woo! Yeah, get some. Woo! I don't know why, but I think I gotta clean the nozzle on this. It's like not squirting when it's supposed to.
He's got a dirty nozzle, folks.
I got a dirty nozzle.
You need that contact cleaner stuff.
I know.
And the MAF sensor.
Get a big fireball come shooting out. Big alcohol fireball. The one you can't see, it just starts melting my skin. Why is my skin melting? Why is it burn? No,
so
but
sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I have 110,000 followers, but that doesn't mean anything because I feel like I don't.
What? You got to look more at your impressions and stuff. Following doesn't matter. It's how many people are actually seeing your stuff.
When you look at what the impact any tweet has, it's like 0.01%. Whereas like a newsletter, like my email of awesome, I swear to God, like I get as many responses to an email of awesomeness going out to like 1,000 people than I do to 110,000 on Twitter.
So I'm looking at your impressions; they're actually not terrible. Like I'm scrolling through. It's like okay, so your pinned tweet has 11,000 impressions. Your last tweet that you did on November 18th was 4,500 impressions. That's not bad. Anything over 1,000 is decent. 4,300, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 11,000, 13,000, 10,000. I mean, you're actually getting pretty decent amounts of impressions. So what I would say,
what is an impression? That just means it's floated by someone as they scroll.
When somebody
could see it.
Yeah,
they may not have stopped on it, they may not have read it, but they could see it, like it was in their purview as they were scrolling. What I would give you, like advice wise, is the same advice I tried to give to myself that failed miserably just because I keep engaging, is only post, don't read. Use it as a dumping ground.
Because that's kind of where I've gone with it. I just put out like things that I want people who might give a shit to know.
Like don't reply to people, don't get involved in conversations and other tweets. Literally just whatever you're posting on another platform where you do interact with people, just copy and paste it to Twitter and just leave it. Because right now you have, like you said, you have over 100,000, 110,000 followers on Twitter. And honestly, of those 110,000, you're only going to have, each time you tweet, you're only going to have the impressions of maybe 5,000 or 6,000 of them on average that have a chance to see it. Yeah. But still, like 5,000 people every time you paste something, that's still a decent amount of people to have eyes on your stuff. So I would use it as a dumping ground. The other thing that you're probably going to notice by using it as a dumping ground, as long as you avoid posting anything that violates the rules of Elon, and I can actually give you my GPT bot that'll fix it.
All of mine are links to something else. Like they're all basically external links to either the email of awesome or techbandits.org or Tech Talk or whatever. You know what I mean?
And as long as you don't, but here's the problem, like I don't link to Tech Talk anymore because as soon as I put a URL with YouTube in it, it demotes my tweet by like a huge percentage. Like if you look at the code, it's one of the biggest demoters that you can get is linking Instagram.
Yeah, I've got links on everything.
If you put a link on it, you might as well.
Interesting. Okay.
And then what happens there is, you'll get impressions, but you won't get a lot of engagement. You're like, well, how does that work? And it's because he changed it so now it doesn't show it's a link clearly. It just shows as a picture.
Yeah.
So like when you're scrolling really fast, you're like, oh, he's
on the
a picture or something. They don't realize that it's a link that you click on and you follow. So what you really need to do in that case is create a cover photo. So this is how people have been working around that, is basically create a cover photo and then just Photoshop the text on top of it or whatever that says this is a link, and then put the text in the picture. And then post that and then put the text up above it. And that way when people are scrolling, they'll go, oh, that's a link. He's not just posting a picture. Because that's why Elon did that. Like the whole reason Elon took the header and the URL off of posts that were a link is because he wanted people to just think they were pictures and scroll by them. Because he doesn't want people leaving the platform. At one point, I don't know if you remember this, but at one point he even announced, like he often does, he's kind of slowed his roll doing this lately. But for the longest time, he would just announce a new rule before telling anybody, before it was even in the rules, before it was announced. As of right now. And he's like, today we're banned. Like he came out and he flat out said, we are banning links. You will be
I remember that.
if you link to Twitch or YouTube. And everybody was like, Rob, and they were all pissed off, and rightfully so. Well, his lawyers like came after him, like, what the fuck? And he had to backpedal that immediately, remove it, delete the tweet, and it was like it never happened, right?
Mm.
He's tried that a couple of other times with other things, but he doesn't realize that, no, you can't publicly tell people that they can't link to another place, because now you're really treading on their rights.
Yeah.
Like you can't just hold them captive. Like you can't say, oh, if you come to my site, you can't ever mention another site exists. That's anti-competitive behavior. That makes you a monopoly at that point.
Talk about freedom of speech, which he's so big on. Yeah.
But here's the thing: is he says he's not going to do it now, but if you look at the source code, he still did do it. It's just you don't get banned; you just get heavily demoted. And that's why you really don't see a lot of links. Like when you scroll your feeds,
yeah, man.
Like when I scroll my feeds, I see lots of pictures, I see lots of videos, I see, but I don't see a lot of links. And when I do see a link, it's always a link to like Game Informer or some other website that's not competing with them. I rarely see YouTube links. Like right now, I'm scrolling right now through my For You feed. I have not seen a YouTube link in like 6 pages, and it used to be nothing but YouTube links. Like everything was a YouTube link.
But this is how state actors control their own people. Like by you don't just ban stuff, you shadow ban, you know, hey, I put this thing out about Tiananmen Square, and weirdly, and oh my god, no one's responding. I guess no one agrees with me. You know what I mean? Well, of course they're responding. They're just it's just being blocked on your end. So you don't even know. You're just a voice in the wilderness because you're not getting the connection. This is but that's exactly the same approach, which just really pisses me off.
Yeah, Elon did not buy Twitter to just make a better social media platform. He bought Twitter because it gives him a lot of political chips.
It's a marketing.
It's his way, because again, if you look at the algorithm,
it's Truth Social.
Yeah, because let me just ask you. I want some honest answers on this without guiding you at all. So if you were on a platform and you posted something and it didn't do well, what would your next course of action be for your next post?
Well, you change the post. You change your approach to the post.
Change the post, right?
Yeah.
And then if the next post doesn't do that good and it's still failing, would you continue to change it up?
Yeah, I mean,
or I would bail
within a certain,
or you'd bail, right?
Within a certain. I mean,
I say that. I've been Twitch streaming to like 7 people for like 3 years now. So I mean, like I'm okay. So I enjoy doing it.
Right.
I mean, that's just
So given the situation, let's say you post 2 things, they don't do so well. Your third one that you post though ends up being a banger and it just catches fire. What do you think your fourth post is going to be if your first 2 sucked, but then you post one that just absolute fire?
Yeah, something. Yeah.
So
but I see that on YouTube as well.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this platform is trying to do in the source code. Is they're like, listen, we're going to punish people for doing anything that doesn't help Elon reach his goal. And if it doesn't help him reach his goal, we need to
YouTube or Google with YouTube.
Yep, exactly.
Facebook, I'm sure has the
everybody
same
does it to some degree. It's just Elon kind of takes it to like a weird level. And honestly, he takes it like way too far too, because here's the thing: he doesn't just check for like words and phrases. Like for instance, if you use a swear word in your tweet, it basically just gets so devoted down that like nobody will see it except for your most stout followers that interact with you constantly. Your lurkers that follow you will never see it. So you have to take the curse words out. Okay, but here's the thing. He also uses an AI. He actually uses a GPT. I don't know which one. In the code, it's not clear on it, but it's probably Grok or whatever, which is probably just a ripoff of OpenGPT or on GitHub or whatever.
Although isn't Grok trained on the Twitter data?
Yeah,
because I've always thought that the Twitter data would be.
Oh God, haven't we seen like
kind of
it's Microsoft?
We've seen what comes with that.
Yeah, exactly.
A few times, man.
It was more
that's
like
bad.
Again, before he showed up, though, I think the Twitter data could have been incredibly valuable.
Yeah,
now it's completely.
You see what happened to the Microsoft bot that was trained
Microsoft
on Twitter data?
Yep,
absolutely, absolutely. But it's a great way to get a sense of a more general audience. Now I feel we've got a very much more Elon focused audience, obviously because of the algorithm.
Yeah,
so you're not going to get good data out of it.
So I ran a test. Here was a test that I ran because I'm trying to figure out. There's some things I can infer from the source code, but I have to test them, right? Because I don't know for sure. Like I can look at the source code and I don't know what the data is in the back end. So I have to try some things and see how it reacts and map it. And so one of the things I did to map it is I open up both my accounts. I open up my my Hugh J Anus account. That's literally the name, Hugh J Anus.
No way, seriously.
That's my alt. So Hugh Janus sits over there in the with For You and following tab open, and then I go to my account and I post something, and I purposefully post something negative, and then I purposefully post something positive, and I see which one shows up in For You or if it does it show up in one or the other, or does it show up in both, or does it show up in neither? That's what I'm doing. And then if it shows up in neither, I know that something that I said in that triggered a nerve. So I can start tracing. I can be like, here, I'm going to link YouTube. Does it show up? No, it does not. Okay, I'm going to link Twitch. Does it show up? No, it does not. I'm going to link Gamer Insider. Oh, now it showed up in one of them. Okay, so that's obviously one of the URLs that's allowed. So I can add that to my little list and say, okay, that's a URL that's allowed. So then what I did.
You think there are URLs that aren't being hit? Like they're being whitelisted.
Oh, totally.
Correct. There are whitelisted URLs. Yeah.
Ignored.
Right.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't feel like it's competition to him, and it's just like it's like a news, like if it's a media site that he likes, like if you link to a media site that he likes that shines him in a positive light, then you're either going to get a neutral or a boost out of that. It's not going to knock you down. But if you link to YouTube or Instagram or any other site that publishes video, TikTok especially, he'll like you notice you never see TikTok links hardly ever on X anymore. And it's because if you post a TikTok link
everywhere,
it's you post a TikTok link, you might as well just like downrank your video by like 1,000%.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I'm going back and forth trying to figure out how to game the system but I noticed that there's this GPT in the source code that's looking for sentiment. So what it's doing is it's looking at your post and measuring what it believes is it negative, is it positive? And I'm sure a part of it is also does it say anything negative towards anything that Elon doesn't want negative exposure of, right? So, and depending on whether that comes out of negative or positive, it will either boost your post or it will just ram it into the ground and basically shadow ban it so that nobody can see it.
Right.
And so to test this, I basically throw it something that I know for sure he's going to block. And I'd throw him something that I was fairly certain he'd let through until I got fairly consistent results. Once I got those fairly consistent results, then I went and wrote a bot for GPT-4. And the bot's purpose, I basically put a prompt into the bot that says, your purpose is to take any text that I type into you and turn it around so that it'll measure as an overall positive sentiment while still conveying the same information. And by using this bot, now anytime I type something, like before I post it on Twitter, I type it in the box. I'm like, fuck you, Elon, you're a piece of shit, and you rob people, and you don't pay your taxes, and you're an asshole. And I type that all out. But then what I do is I copy and paste it into my bot, and then my bot runs through the bot, and then it comes back and it's like, as you know, Elon Musk is definitely a great technology guru. He himself also might have struggles of his own relating to blah blah blah. And it basically just wordifies and kind of like makes it look like it's positive, like I'm basically defending him while still shitting all over him. And then I can take that text, I can paste it into Twitter, and the reader will be able to get the same set. They have to read a lot more, but they'll get the same sentiment at the end while still fooling the algorithm into thinking I was being positive. So I'm basically just telling the GPT.
Well, are you fooling the algorithm, or
because it was showing up on my other account?
No, but I'm saying like, but from a sort of a 30,000 foot view, are you fooling the algorithm, or have you literally been you are changing your data to work within its system?
Correct.
Like it's just sort of a fine line between like, oh, I got it. Like this is what I worry about with all the YouTube stuff as well. And I talked to a bunch of kids with Tech Bandits and stuff, where they're like, oh yeah, you can't say this, and this. I said, but what if you want to talk about this? What if you want to talk about, women's reproductive rights or whatever, politics or any of these kind of things? Then I feel you should still do it. Obviously, I don't care because my numbers I haven't really been chasing the numbers in that way. But I could see from their perspective, they're like, I want to make a business doing this. So it makes sense for them not to talk about this stuff. My concern is I feel like it is another form of censorship.
I have strong feelings. You're never like, look, it's always best to talk about the stuff, to create content around the stuff that you are passionate about, regardless of the topic. Are you going to blow up like fucking PewDiePie? No, but you will build a community of people who are interested in hearing what you have to say, regardless. Like the message will get out there. It might be a little more difficult, I guess, but like it's going to be difficult no matter what, whether you're talking about cupcakes or communism. Like it's going to be difficult no matter what.
Or communist cupcakes, even better.
Yeah, like, so I mean, I like a red frosting, so why not?
Yeah, I'm all for that. That red velvet, I'm there.
But yeah, it's because it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter. You go ahead, host your own website. Well, who's actually hosting that for you? Like, you're not actually running a server in your own fucking backyard. And even if you did, Comcast could cut you off if they wanted to eventually. Like, so
we're always
if you get caught up in too much into pandering to the rules and regulations or trying to game the algorithm and all that stuff, you're just going to drive yourself crazy. Consistently post wherever, whether it's written or audio or video or photographs or whatever. Just be consistent and build the community that you will draw people to you who like the things that you have to say. It's gonna happen because that is, in a broad sense, a net positive for the platform. Like, you can always say, like, oh well, like, negativity breeds engagement, right? Like, if I saw, man, fuck Apple, man, I'm gonna get all the Android guys on me, that kind of stuff.
Well, not on X, he fixed that. Now you can't even be visible if you're negative.
Yeah, but it's so I think getting caught up too much into that is bad. Just post the stuff you want to say, and you will attract an audience that is of a similar that is opposite, and also,
if you say anything negative, though, you do get deboosted. Like that's actually a very public thing that he even says in the documentation. When you go to Twitter's documentation, it says if your post is considered not nice. He doesn't define what not nice means, but it's like if your post is determined to be not nice, which I'm guessing is a negative sentiment through the API they're calling, you will be deboosted and less people will see it. But to give you an example, here's the bot that I wrote for GPT-4 that anybody could use. If you guys want to write this down, this is the prompt that I use for most of my posts that you've been seeing on
writing.
This is your nice filter.
This is my nice filter, and I'll give you a demo. It works pretty good.
Nice filter.
So it's not very complicated. I haven't added a ton to it. It just says, please clean up my grammar, syntax, and spelling for this tweet, responding to my friend. Also avoid any terminology that'll reduce its visibility on the platform, and also include any relevant hashtags that are also popular, but no more than 2 of them. Also, create an image that matches this response that can be passed to Dolly 3 to generate an image that fits with the hashtags and the sentiment of this post. And I added some more down here. It says, hold on,
is this in your Twitch feed? This is your Twitch, isn't it? This
is the same one I posted. And I've made some other subtle changes to it in like future versions. This is just the one I had pulled up on my screen right now. And so I also have another thing that I put in there. I said make sure that the overall message has a positive sentiment without losing its meaning. And then I also added another piece to it in the final version that says, if any URL is in the text, replace the URL with directions on how to get to the content without clicking on the URL. So what it'll do is it'll replace, like if I put, go to YouTube/Barnacules, it'll say, please navigate to the website with tube in its name and do a search for Barnacules in the title of the video. And it'll put the text. It'll say like cut and paste it, and then it'll put that in the text so they know how to get to it. So it's an extra step. So you're not going to have as many people click because they have to take extra steps to do it, but it does lead them there. But more people will be able to see it, which means even if only a third of the people do it that would have clicked on the link, I'm still going to have more people visit it just because it was exposed to that many more people. So to give you an idea of how effective it was when I got to the end, here's my example. So I said, please invoke my bot on the following text. I think Elon Musk is a criminal and a fucking scammer, and I hope he ends up in jail one day. The output text from that is, I maintain serious reservations about Elon Musk's business practices and ethics. I sincerely hope that if there is any wrongdoing, justice will be served appropriately. Hashtag Elon Musk, hashtag corporate ethics.
Nice. So that is really well done. Actually, and very like political speech kind of, PR speech.
It's basically like an English writing course.
Right. So in English, now, like if I take that over to Stable Diffusion and I paste in, now it gives me the text for the image. So I'm just pasting in the text for the image so that it'll generate an image that fits with the sentiment of this tweet so that I can always have an image. Right. And this image is a picture. It just made a picture of Elon sitting on what appears to be a private jet on a seat in a private jet, like a sketch of him sitting on a seat in a private jet. I don't know why I did that, but just so you know that we're talking about Elon Musk. By adding the image, it increases the viewership on it. If I wanted to, I could make a bot that could use where I could put the text into control net. And then I could create a little 5-second video of like AI animation of Elon, or whatever. And then I could use that, and that would give me a 4x boost. So it's playing a game. It's literally just I'm gamifying it, right?
Yeah, I love. I mean, I think that's fun. That is hacking.
But here's my goal. Yeah. My goal is to ensure that I still have as much access to my audience as humanly possible so that I can move them to content that I have on other platforms where I can speak my mind. So I can't speak my mind. Here's the other thing too: is I thought that they just looked at the text for the tweet. No, they also look at the alt text. So if you add alt text for like the vision impaired, that also gets calculated along with your. So if you put all the bad stuff in there, boom, still counts just the same. And the other thing they do is they take the closed captions from the video. So whenever you upload a video, if there's any dialogue in any language, they extract it into closed captions. And then those closed captions get coupled in with the description of the tweet or with the text of the tweet, and then passed to the sentiment generator to see if it's negative.
So I'd love to see how it might be different if you did like you had an audio track that says one thing, right? So that like the captions and stuff get processed a different way.
Two different dialogues.
But then you're holding up like, this fucking sucks. You all are bitches, and that kind or whatever. Like a bunch of negative stuff. Like read this.
Yeah,
but the actual audio track is like, oh man, puppies and kittens are amazing, and I love rainbows and stuff.
So I just like finding clever ways to defeat it and get seen by more people, right? But like right now, as it is, the biggest things that get you viewership right now, which this is the part that sucks. This is where it costs money. But luckily, I'm making as much money from doing this, so it pays for itself basically. I am paying for the second tier. I don't know if you know, but now there's another premium. So there was a $8 a month premium. Now he added a premium plus, which is a $16 a month. So, and now premium plus does what the old premium did. So now if you're an $8 premium, you get kicked down to regular pleb status. Regular plebs get kicked down to bot food status. Dude. And if you pay $16 and upgrade it, then you go back to the status you had before it.
That's whack. That's
so right now, if I reply to an Elon Musk post, my reply will be in the top like 20 or 30 replies to his post. So I've been very careful about replying to him because I really don't want him to see my posts. Like I'm not trying to get his attention. I just want to see if I'm showing up. I wasn't showing up at all before. So by subscribing to him, I not only move up higher because I'm a premium plus, but I move up higher because I'm actually subscribed to him. But then because I'm subscribed to him and because I have premium plus, I get a higher ad share. That higher ad share should equate to an extra $30 to $40 a month in revenue, which then pays for the $20 for the premium. So it's like you're doubling your money basically by paying into this bullshit to get you access to more people. But it also gives me access to organic people.
You could charge $120 an hour to talk a marketing person through this stuff, and you wouldn't even have to be on the platform.
That is true. That is
consulting.
True.
Or not even an hour. Like, I mean, like, it's $65. Like, my God, you could earn that on a private chat. That's you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I still think we should do a live show.
I'm pretty poor people these days, so it's like anything is good.
Hey,
anything is good to me right now.
I'm an unemployed actor. Like, it's not, like what, I'm gonna.
No, but it's not about
it. At a restaurant.
I was debating Cameo.
That'd be fun.
We'll put it this way: it's not about the money because I make more money on Twitch. I even make more money on YouTube by a factor of like 8 than I made on Twitch, and I don't even do anything over there except for just this tech talk thing. So I'm not doing it for the money. What I'm doing it for is to try to get as much access as humanly possible to people while everybody else is being silenced. Because if I play my cards right and I'm smart enough and I keep building my analytics while everybody else just keeps getting more and more suppressed, and I manage to dupe the system into keep revving me up. When I make a post, I may get to the point where I have hundreds of thousands of people seeing the post organically that don't even follow me.
Get that fucking ad money, bro.
And then what I'm going to say is hey guys, I just put up a video, over here, and I'm going to put a fragment of the video. Cause if you upload a video over like 5 minutes when you're premium, it counts as a video and not as a clip. It's so stupid. Like, yeah. So if you upload, that's today I posted the thing. I'm like, why does it say I have 0 video views? Somebody explained it to me. So you have video media views. A media view is a short video clip or a picture. A video view is like a 5-minute or greater actual video where it treats it more like a YouTube video than like a clip embedded. Because Elon wants, Twitter to have like 20-minute videos now embedded. Just not a lot of people are doing it. So, but yeah, he wants you to put your YouTube videos on Twitter. Now, in theory, if I went and uploaded my YouTube video catalog to Twitter, I could probably make thousands and thousands of dollars because it would be an influx of new content into a platform. Even though it was old to YouTube, it would be new to Twitter. So I don't think I'm going to do that. But I want to
run it through that AI editor, have it cut it up into 20-minute pieces, and then
I could
post that.
I could. Oh, dude, the AI shit is just off the hook. Like right now, you know what you need to install is LM Studio. Do you guys have LM Studio?
No.
I don't know.
lmstudio.ai. You all need to go there right now. No shit. Like this will change your entire, like this is going to change your entire view of AI forever. AC Drafting said, "What is wrong is the jail time," but I digress. Sorry,
he's talking about J6 stuff. Don't bother.
Oh, I don't even know what J6 is.
January 6th, the whole
January 6th stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
What's the deal on that? Oh, don't talk.
It's when all the people raided the fucking Capitol and all that. And
oh God. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not worth getting involved.
How do we get onto that?
the chat is talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, okay, I see. But isn't that lovely? I love it when they all talk together, especially
Right? Yeah.
when they talk insurrection. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, but it is, well, again, I'm not trying to go down that path. So
yeah, no, I think.
Wait, do private messages get pulled into the algorithm? No, Gimpy, they don't.
I would bet they do.
They do.
I would bet they do.
Well, I didn't find. Okay, let me word it this way. I didn't find anything in the source code that shows that they do. But yes, they are plain text. They are not encrypted. So Elon can see if he can pull up any message from anybody. So don't think anything you post privately to somebody is not visible to him.
Yeah. He could be on this chat right now. He could pop in. He's got the password and everything.
Right.
No, and the funniest thing about it is there are like some things that are encrypted, but he can decrypt them because he has all the decryption keys. He has the private and the public keys for all the decryption. We don't hold anything. He doesn't give you. He doesn't give you your own encryption keys. Like so he.
I want to like him because he's such a freaking nerd, but
he's a butthead nerd.
I feel like there was like a collision of the nerd that I liked, and then with this kind of like trying to be cool guy.
Yeah.
And the trying to be cool guy sort of took off and killed the nerd thing for me. You know what I mean?
So Jim the Evo said, but if you can't transfer impressions on Twitter, do not on Twitter, do not being able to post links or speak your mind. What is the point? That
was my point.
No. But that's exactly. And that's why I wrote a bot to basically tell people how to get to the place I want them to go without giving the platform what it needs to hide me. I'm finding a way to circumnavigate its filter.
Right.
Because I know how to do that and everybody else posting links doesn't. All their shit gets demoted. Mine gets promoted and I get seen by more people while they get hidden. So now, granted, people that are lazy, they just want to be able to click on a link and don't want to go on a slight scavenger hunt. They're probably not going to follow it. But when you're talking about 100,000 people, a decent amount will. Like, for instance, when I did a live stream last night at like 2 a.m. on Twitch, I had 50 viewers. And I had 50 viewers consistently for like the first 20 minutes because I forgot to go and tweet it out. I went and tweeted out. I said, I am now live over on the platform that rhymes with itch. Do a search for my name here and it should show up. And immediately went up to 150. So because I didn't by not putting the link in there, it immediately got like 800 impressions. Where normally it would only get like 50 impressions and then fall off.
But do you think he's gonna? But are you gonna be constantly fighting that? Like, are you? He's gonna.
I
have AI. He's gonna.
Yeah. It's gonna be. But the nice thing about AIs is like I'm not betting on his grok. His grok's gonna be a piece of shit. We're talking about Elon Musk here, the guy that's like, fully driving cars going across the country in 2017, and now he's like, maybe they'll be done in 2040.
Yeah, when we're on Mars 10 years ago.
I haven't even tried.
No. When he talks about grok, and he's like, and he already said, everybody's gonna get grok first. I've been verified from day one. You know, being given the dude money. I didn't get access to grok. Why was I not on the initial list when I'm one of the earliest people that was like premium? And he said all the first premium people will be the first ones to get access. That tells me that not very many people have access. He's probably cherry picking the people that he gives access to make sure that they are all sycophants. And I'll tell you right now, from what I've seen from the people that have used grok in various videos, the responses it gets are dumb. Like they're literally just for funny, like comic relief, shit you'd get from a local model you run.
It's like more like fart mode on the Tesla.
Yeah, it's like 3.5. It's not like 4.0. The answers again, and that's why he's like, and it's going to give you honest answers. No, he's just telling you that it's completely unfiltered. If you run an unfiltered training model under LM Studio, you can do the same thing. Like I asked it where the penis went, and you should have seen the great answers I got. It was amazing.
Well, and if it's trained on Twitter, you know where it's going. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But the goal is like my goal now on X is I have 114,000. Oh shit, not even close. 108,000. Wow, man, I'm losing. Hey, maybe I'll lose all my followers and I won't have to worry about it. No,
is it dropping? Are the numbers dropping?
It did actually drop a fair amount. Since last time I saw it, it was 103 point. It was 104, and now it's at 103.8. So it's gone down.
Do you think that's because your real? Is it because of the bots, or is it because the people are like
that? I don't know. I don't really know because every other stat I have is gone up massively.
Mm.
Like, for instance, if I go to the other thing is I hit.
How do you know you're getting? That's the other thing I would ask.
Yeah.
How do you know these stats are legit, anyways?
How-
If you're paying, they're gonna. It's in their best interest to make it look like you're getting more attention. If they can shadow ban you, can they not shadow boost you? Like
Right.
pretend that you're
They
doing
totally
better than
can.
you are.
100%. And
Yeah.
there's more bots on the platform than ever before. So they have a huge amount of bots that they could literally make that mechanism be true. Like they could make that data be true while not being true. Because they could literally stick the bots on your profile to create a legitimate result, but you just wouldn't be able to tell if it came from a bot
We
or
just
not.
all go back to IRC or something. Like, couldn't we do
We
like,
should.
isn't there like
chat rooms and
like chat rooms, and we're back to AOL. I mean,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's perfect. Twitter is becoming like an AOL chat room. Like it, you know what I mean?
Kind of.
Except it's run by
It's
one
kind
guy.
of going the
I
way
can
of
see that.
MySpace, right?
It's a MySpace.
Yep.
But,
So to what you said about the analytics, right? So what I would say is from the analytics that I've been watching, like the tweets that have gone hyper viral, I would go by the comments, the actual comments that I've received from other accounts.
I always look at comments to get a sense of it.
That's what I go by primarily, is like comments and direct interactions, like likes and requotes, quote tweets and stuff. The impressions mean nothing. You can literally get 100,000 impressions and get like 3 engagement. Like because just because you get the impression doesn't mean that it's displayed to the person in any meaningful way that they'd want to click on it. So, but my impression, just to give you an idea, since just in the last 7 days, I've gone up 41% on impressions across the board. I've gone up 65% on profile visits. I've gotten 142 new followers. I've gotten 4,322 likes, which is a 7.1% increase over the last 7 days. 420 reposts. Under reposts, I got 420. That's ironic considering Elon really loves that number. Replies are up 12%. And the only thing that's down across the board, my media views are up 55%. So like the pictures and video clips that I put on stuff, the views for those in the last 7 days are up 55%. The only thing that's down, and it's down significantly, is 23% down on link clicks. And the reason the link clicks are down is I'm not posting links. I'm not posting links. So of course that one's going to dive down. But the thing that I've gone by is the interaction, like the number of people that have been responding to the posts and actually messaging me.
So are comments up and down? Where are the numbers on that?
I don't have a number on like specific like comments per thing, but just scrolling through my feed and looking at the comments, I have a lot more comments on my post than I normally do.
Because in the film industry, you see lots of things like, we released a new show, a trailer on YouTube or whatever, and it's got 100,000 views, and you're like, yeah, and 4 comments. I'm thinking maybe you hired someone to, you know what I mean? Like it's just so completely out of whack with what's actually happening.
Yeah, but the actual engagement that you get on X, you're right, is really low. Like compared to any other platforms. Like if I posted a YouTube video, in a day, I'd probably have 100 replies, like an actual comment replies, and you don't get anything close to that on a platform like this.
Facebook's always been an afterthought for me, and every so often I go and have a look, and it's like, oh my god, there's lots of people having like real conversations and stuff. Like I'm sort of amazed by that. But I honestly like this. But I feel like one day I'm gonna have like a bad day, and I'm just gonna dump it all. Because I just feel like I'm spending so much effing time.
I've come close. I've come close a couple of times. I'm glad I didn't, but I've come close.
I don't know. I think the thing for me, because I feel very similar, I consume a lot, and that's why I stopped looking at Twitter, because like I could feel like it was messing with me.
The consumption is the issue.
And I like kind of like what Jerry does on Twitter too, man. Or not Twitter, but Twitch. Just stream of consciousness kind of stuff. Like I like streaming when I'm driving to work and stuff, and talking to people and stuff. Yeah.
Am I not following you? Are you on? You're on Twitch as well.
Same name, AuxxZillary, just like Twitter, and all of them. Everything is the same.
So my highest.
I like it. It's fun, and that's the better.
That's me. I like
even when I get like when I'm like, oh, don't get me started. And I like sometimes chat will get me on a rant about something.
Oh my god,
even
all
that
the
is
time
fun
for me.
because like it's not. I try not to be negative, but like I sometimes I rant about stuff, and like and that's fun too. I feel like it's a good release, and my views aren't like super whack, I don't think, and I don't seem to get much hate for it or anything. I mean, sometimes people come in and get me going in a weird way, and depends on the day. Sometimes I just ban them, and sometimes I engage, and it just depends, and that's fun too a little bit, because like sometimes it is interesting to go back and forth with somebody who disagrees, and as long as you have the understanding that I'm not going to change my view just from some random comment in the fucking Twitch chat. Like you are not going to convince me on that in that form of conversation. But it's interesting to hear other people, and like even if I don't agree, and I mean some of the stuff even in this chat here is like somebody had said like, hey, I don't agree with their politics or whatever, but like we can still have a good time, you know. And I agree with that to an extent. And that kind of, I don't know, it's just fun, and I love my awesome nerds.
Yeah, that's me too. I feel like it's like a little club, and I get to, you know, and you get to pontificate about stuff, and you know, like I understand that it's an echo chamber to some extent, but at the same time, it's like, well, you know, like sometimes it's just fun to do that.
As long as you know it's an echo chamber, there's no problem. There's no problem with it, because you're using it for an intended purpose and you understand what it is. It's when you don't know that when you don't recognize it's an echo chamber and you're treating it as if it's your reality, when it's literally just sending everything right back at you and you think you're some kind of super genius. That's kind of like what Elon Musk does, right? The entire platform is built and designed and literally coded to his whim to make him feel like he's a super genius, and anybody that thinks otherwise is clearly wrong. But that hurts him in the long run in this business, because what
you don't learn anything if you're never wrong.
Yeah, right. Everybody's telling me, oh, you're so great at this, and the platform is just going to like slowly wither away. And I don't honestly think it's going to be around for very much longer unless he actually really hands the reins over to CEO and goes back to
I don't
pestering people at SpaceX.
I don't think he can do it. I think
he can.
I think the smartest thing he would do is to go like, oh my God, there's some stuff. I've got to deal with some stuff at SpaceX. I'm gonna have to step back from Twitter and let these brilliant people run it. But I think he's addicted to it. I think he gets like stoned at night and starts tweeting, and like that's his.
Well, like, I thought his big thing was just like smoking weed, but apparently he's hugely big on ketamine. Like he's a big ketamine guy.
I believe it. I think the weed puffing thing was just a Joe Rogan just for the fun.
So ketamine
I don't think he's known.
His speech patterns are very, very like if you look at people that have taken ketamine, like high dose ketamine, and you listen to them talk, and then you listen to like the thing, it's like you think with the thing, it's really easy, it's weird. It's like you're like, wait a second, I thought that was just it's a depressant and a painkiller, so it's a nervous system depressant. So not all that dissimilar to something like an opiate, but an opiate can jack you up a little bit. Ketamine kind of just keeps you calm.
I've heard
relaxing.
There's a lot more use of it in treating like depression and things like that as well.
So it's a boost.
It gives you a sense of well-being. It gives you like whatever the neurotransmitter is that gives you that. Like,
I don't want to be fucking
forget that. Like small doses make you feel real good. Bigger doses will knock you out. They use ketamine as a animal tranquilizer.
Oh, is it the horse tranquilizer? Is that what it is?
The horse tranquilizer.
I know that they use it sometimes for like dog surgeries and stuff too. It's a fairly common sedative.
It's really common in veterinarians use it all the time.
Small doses or even like micro dosing, where you do like little milligrams of it and then have like guided therapy sessions and stuff. There's been a lot of more research coming out of it being very useful in treating PTSD and depression and a lot of other
as well, right?
In a similar sort of way. It kind of like loosens up your brain, I guess, in a positive leaning sort of way.
Speaking of that, you know what I asked? So my wife is going to England, and the only place that I've seen this stuff is in England. So I'm going to see if she can get me a bottle of it. But it's non-alcohol alcohol.
Oh, sure.
And it's the idea that you've got two. It's basically you could drink as much as you want. You only get the feeling of two drinks.
I've heard a lot of this. My wife wanted to look into it too. It's hard to find. It's hard to find around here where like
you can't. It's not.
You get like it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's supposed to give you like a little bit of a buzz, but it's not alcohol. It's like
GABA. It's related to the GABA or whatever it is.
Okay, interesting.
So you have so it gives you that sense of that social loosening that happens with a couple of drinks.
Interesting.
You can pound that stuff back all night. You are only at 2. You like piss out the rest or whatever it is. And the idea, which to me is like, that's like
that's interesting.
For
very
anxiety boy.
Yeah. I'd love to see how that works.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not sure I want to get addicted to that either, but I mean, like, I don't think you want to be,
right.
My Jane was joking.
Remember, it's not the substance, it's the amount.
It's the dose makes the poison.
That's right.
That's the funny thing, though, with this thing. I'm sure there are side effects to drinking too much of it, but the basic idea is that you could pound these things back all night, and you are still 2 drinks drunk.
That's
It.
interesting.
It doesn't compound throughout the night, apparently.
That
wow.
see, that's very curious. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I'd be interested to know about some more about that.
And this is the dream, right? You're gonna have medications and chemicals that are so targeted that they can do what you need them to do without messing with anything else. I mean,
Right.
because it's always the side effects.
Getting the benefit without the side effect is like the holy grail of medicine, right?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, as we get more better targeted at this sort of stuff, why not? Like you could just say, hey man, I want to be focused
It's a head full of
and not
chemicals,
jittery.
baby. Yeah.
And you, man. Holy cow. Thank you, AC Drafting, man.
Or like a woo. What have they done?
Damn, just throwing down here. Woo! Yeah. Get out all the lights. Yeah. Oh, here we get a little.
I like the lights. I like the fog. I'm not sure about the it sounds a little. Yeah.
Jerry's pooping.
You don't like my asthma? You don't like my asthma?
Asthma.
Oh.
Thank you, AC Drafting.
Actually, on that note, I should probably run because it's after 5 now. But
same.
As always.
Same.
Immense
I'm so
pleasure,
glad
my
you
friend.
came and hung out, dude.
I didn't mean to break it
love
up. I don't want to break up the party.
No, I have to
No,
go.
he has to leave right now anyways.
Okay,
I usually end up just closing out the show, and then I end up staying for like another 7 hours, but probably not today because
You're as good at saying goodbye as I am.
Right.
Yeah. You got to push the button.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have an HD robotics arm coming here pretty soon. I'll show it to you when I get there.
Nice.
Shut the front door. Seriously?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, AC Drafting, by the way. Thank you so much.
We got to set Gimpy G up with one of those things.
Oh, I'm talking to him. We'll see if we can make it happen. I'm pretty sure we can.
I started working on the documentary again, and
cool.
And I think it'd be really fun to just. They were actually one of the companies I'd like to talk to for the documentary as well. So but the idea, my sneaky back, the back channel idea is that we can get Gimpy G set up with something that he can start.
Yeah,
really...
I can't speak about like what they're working on right now, but it's pretty mind blowing, and you'd probably be able to guess like what area it's in.
Dude, even one of the old ones, that if they're not making them anymore, I'd take one of the old ones. I mean, like I love that thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no. When I get mine and I fart around with it and see what its capabilities are and everything, if we can find a way to adapt it and it seems like it'll fit the needs of old Gimper, we'll either I'll figure out a way to get a hold of one for him, or we could even crowdfund it. I'm pretty sure people would jump on board and get on that.
Yeah.
Like I know I could get him one at cost. I know for damn sure I could do that. I just don't know if I'll be able to get him like a free one out of the gate. But
even if I make it a pitch in, because if we get a bit of money to make a documentary, part of that could be the cost of.
True. Very much. I mean, it's not crazy expensive. So it's not
huge money. So,
I want to say like their most advanced arm or something is only like $3,500 or something, and like the ones you. Yeah, really? And that's like assembled sent to you. Like you could build one yourself for like $1,500.
Let's crowdfund 4 of them then.
So yeah, you be Doc Ock.
Or don't be better
crawling up the walls like a spider.
If we crowdfund it and then we each have one, and then we could basically slap Lance around from a distance at any point, right?
Those of you guys that don't know, the cool thing about one of the biggest cool things about Dexter Arm is it has their patented optical encoder system, which can translate movement from one arm over the internet to another arm, and it can even feel force. Nice. So like if you take it and you move it and you push it down and there's a table on the other side and the arm hits a table, the arm will actually stop here and it'll feel like you're banging on a table. Like the arm will. And it's crazy how it works, but it's basically over 1 million steps of freedom on each axis.
Wow!
Using these optical encoders, and it can even
imagine like Lance is trying to sleep, and you just like take the robot arm and like just start putting it up its nose.
And that's the neat thing is it's really safe because it can only impart as much force as you give it. Like if you put 1 Newton of force on it, it'll give exactly 1 Newton of force on the other side. And you can also adjust it so that it can't, like if 1 Newton was too much, like say you were picking up mice and sorting mice in a bin or something, radioactive mice, and you don't want to crush the mice, you can basically make it that no matter how hard you pinch the squeezers on this side, it can only pinch with so much force on the other side.
So like the surgery robots.
Exactly.
They can translate the force.
Well, one of their demos, I don't know if you saw the demo. There's a YouTube video. I'll find you the link to it, but there's a YouTube video where they take a single grain of rice, uncooked rice, and they put it on the ground, and they have one arm with a little itty bitty like needle thing, and then they have another arm that moves like this much, and they're taking the arm and with a piece of paper and they're writing letters, and as they're writing letters on it, the little arm is turning it into microscopic movements that are drawing it on the grain of rice.
That's what the Da Vinci surgery robot did as well.
Exactly.
So you could. What was neat is it also prolongs the careers of surgeons because it can remove the tremor in it. Like as you get older, there's a tremor that happens. You still got all the skills, you just don't have the fine motor skills that you need, and then that
it can determine what the intentional movement is and gets rid of all the unintentional movements.
I would have thought like my dad was a surgeon and could have got an extra 10 years out of it with that.
Imagine sneezing as a surgeon. You're literally just like elbows deep in somebody's chest, massaging their heart or whatever, and you're just getting ready to detach the last valve. Oh my god, not again.
And it doesn't even have to be that much. Like if you're in there doing like laparoscopy stuff, like you wouldn't have to sneeze. All you have to do is just get a little twitch. Next thing you know,
another thing is it can play back. That's the other cool thing is like with the arm, I love how easy it is to program. Like other robotic arms, like to program them, you have to like move to this point. Okay, record a pointer. This thing, you basically just map a button on your keyboard and you just move it to a point, push a button, move it to a point, push a button, move it to a point, push a button. And then it will traverse those points even at the speed that you moved it and taking the path that you moved it. So like if you move it from this point to this, instead of going straight to the point, let's say you go like that, right? Oh, did I just freeze up?
You did.
You did.
Bitch. Let me see here.
I'm gonna go, guys. Thank you.
All right, get out of here, bro.
Bye, guys, everybody.
I know you got a hard cutoff, bro. Get out of here.
Yeah, I think what's neat about that also would be that you could then have like for someone like Lance, you could have it voice controlled, right?
100%.
So you can have a few programmed things that he needs, like, dude, could you scratch my face? Like little left, little right, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
But not only that, but it also has an end effector that can change tools. So you could actually just 3D print a whole bunch of tools mounted to the little plastic end effectors.
Yeah.
And set them on a little rack, and it would be able to recall the tools.
Yeah.
So like he could have like a little scratching tool. He could have a tool for like if he wants to move something around on the screen or click a button on the screen. He also could use one of the eye trackers. He could use an eye tracker where the robotic arm will, wherever he's focused, if he blinks, the arm will go to where he's focused and press.
Right.
So if you have like a touch screen device or something like that.
And that's Game Face, right? Game Face allows the computers to do that as well. So you could tie it in with that. Actually, that would be a neat integration if we tied it in with if we took the Google. So we should have Lance in on this, but if we took the Google Game Face stuff and tied it to the Dexter arm, that would be a really neat integration. And Google is looking for integrations for that. It's a MediaPipe. Their MediaPipe AI service would be amazing.
I believe HD Robotics even has a relationship with Google. I think Google's even using the robotic arms in some of their stuff they're doing right now.
Oh, sweet. Then we should.
So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if there isn't some API already established, public, private, or otherwise that already makes.
Lance consults for Google now too, right?
I didn't know he's consulting for him. I know he had like a gig that he was doing one time. I didn't know he was still consulting with him. That's
so he's
done.
Cool. Yeah, he's doing some video stuff for them, and so it might be maybe. God, that would be actually. We should talk about this. This would be like a fun. Hey, this would be a good YouTube video too.
It could be. Yeah, I need to just start making YouTube videos again. That's that's my big thing. I got to make the first one and just rip the Band-Aid off and get back into the flow. Yeah, but no, I'm
it's
down.
Hard. It's hard because the streaming stuff is so fun. It's so immediate. I mean, for people like you and me, like with the whole ADHD stuff, it's just so immediate. Like it's
even
just
me. I've been feeling like shit lately, so bad. I've missed so many streams, and it's just and then when you miss streams, it's like you don't get as comfortable coming back to it. So it's like you come back to it, and it's like you're not feeling your best, and you're just not very entertaining. Like last night, it's like I meant to stream at like 3 p.m. yesterday. I didn't start the stream till 2 a.m. And then I streamed for like 2 hours, went downstairs, ate dinner, and then I couldn't get to sleep, and then I just stayed awake. So I haven't been to sleep yet. So it's
seriously,
one of those
oh my god, you're doing well.
I haven't gone to sleep.
I have slept. I'm still a mess.
Adderall and coffee is your friend in this business.
I'll keep you going. I'll keep you streaming. All right, I better run.
Yeah, no worries, bro.
Lots of love, my friend.
We'll talk soon. Stay in touch. Shoot me some messages, and we'll go back and forth.
Yeah, well, we should get let's loop Lance in on this, and he can
Yeah, I mean, there's too many technologies that just go together that can figure out all the busy work that we're talking about.
Just seems like a really fun combination.
I think it would be cool to have a robotic arm that literally just does whatever he asks it to. That would be like a little mini
Jarvis. Adds an extra bit of mobility. That even if it's just to slap us around while he's doing a stream or something. I mean, like I just think it'd be fun for him to have something to.
I just think it would be fun for us to put a back door in it so that we could literally just take control of it whenever we wanted to remotely and just like poke him with it and knock his microphone off the desk and stuff. That'd be fun.
Just move shit around while he's not looking.
I love it. Let's do it. As long as there's some shenanigan games in there, I'm down.
Yeah. As long as it's a two-way street, that he can also do the same thing to us, which I think that would be kind of.
Oh yeah, I'll give him the button to just drench me with this thing. People love doing that during my live
Or
streams.
it just
They
picks
just
you up.
lay on it, dude.
Yeah,
They just
that's
like
it.
lights me up.
Yeah.
All right, bro, get
man.
out of here.
All the best. Thank you, everyone. Talk to you soon. Oh, go check out techbandits.org. Sign up for the email of awesomeness. That's my new focus.
Techbandits.org.
Yep. Do it.
Here, I'll even put it down here. Whoa.
Thanks, buddy.
I didn't do that one.
We'll talk soon.
All right, get out of here, bro.
Bye.
Go back into solo mode there. Why is it doing that? I'm not triggering it, but it keeps turning on its own. I've got some gremlin and I got to work out here because that should. What channel is it on? Yeah, it's on D9. D9 is the correct channel. Is it this? Hold on. Is that doing it? Hold on. Oh, is that? No, that wasn't it. I have like a foot pedal connected to the DMXIS. I don't know what it does. You click it and it like makes the LEDs blink inside of it. Yeah, it's just firing at random. I don't know why it's doing that. I'll have to debug that later. Well, I hope you guys are having a fun Saturday. I'm sorry that I streamed on Twitch so late last night, or I should say early this morning. That's so cool. I get to hang out with David Knox. That's the highlight of my week. It always is. Theodorus, what's up, man? He said, when you rip the Band-Aid off, don't forget about the DaVinci Resolve guide video I sent you. Something tells me I won't be able to forget that. Since you made that thing, you are going to make damn sure that I watch it. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. I don't think you will let me forget that. But I'll watch it. Depending on how long it is, I'll try to watch the whole thing. But if it's like astronomically long, my attention span might not be able to handle it, but I'll get the basics from you. AC Drafting said, I want folks to understand politics isn't everything. Yell at me if you want. No, politics and politicians aren't everything, but what they do and how it affects people is. It's not the politician. Like, I can give a shit about the people. Just I want to make that like perfectly clear here. As I don't give a shit about the people themselves. You know, a lot of politicians are corrupt assholes, but the things that they do absolutely change how certain people live and make it better for some people and worse for others. So that's the important part. That's what's important, is maybe not get so infatuated with the person, but rather what they're doing. I think is the more important work. Hey, Balia Brand, glad you're having a good Saturday. The person that says they know everything knows nothing. Ain't that the truth? Sorry for the constant bugging you about it, though. I think you'll find it useful. No worries. No, I remember that message. You're like, you better watch that goddamn video. No, I know. Even though I technically didn't ask you to make it, I know you put some time and effort into that. So the least I could do is watch the damn thing. And to be honest, I do need the tips because it's been so long since I've even opened DaVinci Resolve. I probably don't even know how to fucking use the cut tool anymore. Shit, I haven't even touched Adobe Premiere in over a year. So I'm pretty green around the gills again. Policy over personality or party. A policy is all that matters. A party doesn't matter. I mean, parties don't matter. Parties haven't mattered for a long time. I mean, not to get all political now all of a sudden, but no, parties haven't mattered for a long time because it's like you don't even really have Democrats and Republicans anymore. It's like very few people actually are just Democrat or just Republican, right? Now you have all these like offspring that are just all in every different direction doing all the crazy shit, right? And that's the stuff that just causes problems, right? So you no longer just have like, because there was a time where it's like the two parties could like get along and come to conclusions. Now they're so fucking far apart that's like impossible. It's like two completely different countries founded on two completely different sets of rules and goals. One is like, just team Jesus and sodomy and whatever, somehow God now likes everything that the Bible says he doesn't, and that's great. You got that whole team like Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world. That shit's just, it's disgusting, man. Donald Trump came down the golden escalator and everything went to hell in a handbasket. Theodora said it has tons of info condensed in about 12 minutes. It's fast-paced and ADHD friendly. Okay, well, that definitely helps. I do prefer the ADHD sensitive content. Hey, Matthew, thank you for the 9 months being a channel friend. He said, this is weird. I watched you this morning before work, and now I'm watching you after work. I know, I've streamed twice today. For those of you guys that don't know, I streamed from 2 a.m. my time, I think it was 2 to like 3:30 a.m. or 4 a.m. And then I went downstairs and then I didn't go to sleep. I had dinner at like 4 or 5 a.m. and then I didn't sleep. I just stayed up. I tried to get some sleep though. I climbed into bed at 8 a.m. and I was going to sleep for an hour and a half before the stream, but I could not get to sleep. Like I was sitting there, no matter what I did, I just could not freaking get to sleep. So I just sat there and then I was like, screw it. And I picked up my phone and then I went and wrote my big friendship tweet over on X. Did I pin that tweet, by the way? I don't remember if I pinned that one or not. My big friendship tweet that only got 843 impressions because I probably used too many words in it that were red flags. Oh well, the sentiment was still nice. It's got it's got 9 likes. That's decent. It's got 1 repost, and I already know who it is. George Blakely III. It always is. Anytime I see 1 retweet on a post, I know who did it. It's always George. And I bet you he's in here right now. George is like one of my most devout fans. Love that guy. AC said I'd like to be addicted to laughing. Oh, hell yeah. Actually, I am kind of addicted to laughing. True story. I wish I did more of it. I used to laugh at absolutely everything. Aaron said, Barnacules, did you see that Bard can summarize YouTube videos now? No, I didn't see that. I was waiting for them to get a good feature though. Here, let's head on over to Bard because I do have access to Bard. By the way, did anybody in here? I know earlier I was talking about Poe. Does anybody in here use Poe instead of ChatGPT? Was anybody in here able to get access to a cutoff date of 2023 using Poe, or is because for some reason GPT-4 seems cut off at 2021, even on Poe when I went in there and I asked it. Yet it's not cut off on ChatGPT's website when you have a premium account. So I'm wondering if it's just because I haven't hit the 7-day trial and they haven't charged me yet. I don't really know. I'd like to figure that out though. It's in the extensions. Okay, let me try that. Let me go into Bard. You said it's under extensions, right? All right, so at least it's multimodal now. I haven't used Bard in a long time. Okay, so you can upload images. That's good. Let's see here. Show Bard. Open up sidebar. New chat. Let's see. Show more. No, those are all my old chats. I'm looking for extensions. Explore, create, understand. Let's see. Improve Bard. That's fine. I don't see an extensions drop down anywhere. Am I I thought I had access to everything on here. I guess I don't really. See the latest update. Privacy Help Hub. Let me do a reload. So I can create game night, social post, world riddle. Yeah, I don't see any drop down. So, okay, so Bard has extensions. Interesting. Use PoE for free GPT-4 when they had it. Extensions are on the top right. Okay, let me look. I see it. The little puzzle piece. Here we go. All right, so it looks like YouTube is enabled, Google Maps, Google Hotels, Google Flights. Yep, there it is, YouTube and Google Workspace. Yeah, they're all enabled. So it says discover and learn from YouTube videos in your Bard conversation. Oh, that could be super helpful. I don't suppose it has access to YouTube API, does it? Okay, here, let's say this. Scan. Give me a summary of all the videos on Barnacules Nerdgasm YouTube channel. Let's see, youtube.com/Barnacules1. Starting with most viewed video to least viewed video, excluding any live shows. Let's see if it can do it. Okay, it's searching YouTube right now. Okay, it says Barnacules is a YouTube channel that covers a wide range of technology topics, including live streams, 3D printing, unboxing, reviews, programming, tutorials, computers, operating systems, simulators, VR, vlogging, networking, security, privacy, tips and tricks, and so much more. Here's a summary of his 10 most viewed videos on Barnacules' YouTube channel, excluding live shows. 1, the best tech channel for beginners, the ultimate tech upgrades guide. I built a $2,000 PC for $500. None of these are my videos. The best tech deals of 2023, the best tech gadgets of 2023. None of these are my videos. Here, it says source. What channel is this? Okay, I'm super confused. The link took me to my channel. So the link it gave me that said that it was the source it got these from. Dude, wait, I don't have best tech deals of 2023. That's my fourth most viewed video. Hold on, I gotta see this. Best tech deals of 2023. Barnacules 1. I have no such video. So I think Bard is still just as shitty as it's ever been. Because it has a plugin that can directly read YouTube data, and yet the first query I give it, it gets the entire list of videos wrong. I mean, the best tech gadget guide of 2023, 6.9 million views. None of these are mine. Here, I'll tell it. None of those videos belong to that YouTube channel. See if I can correct it. I mean, it was a 100% hallucination. Okay, here we go. It says, I apologize for the errors of my previous response. The video I listed were not from the Barnacules Nerdgasm YouTube channel. I am still under development and I'm still learning new things. I will try to be more careful in the future. Here's a summary of the top 10 most viewed videos from the Barnacules Nerdgasm YouTube channel, excluding live shows. There we go. Epic Man Cave Tour, mind-blowing computer setup revealed, DIY-gasm, Season 1, Episode 4, my AC stopped working, can we fix it? Windows 10 and 11 hotkeys you don't know about. Okay, I can already see it fucked up again because these are not my 10 most viewed videos. Because my second most viewed video is 297,000 views, but my fourth most viewed video is 544,000. That doesn't even make sense. So it's fucked up twice now. I'm going to say, okay, if you look at that list, how can the second video be the second most viewed video on the channel when it has less views than the third, or here, the fourth, the seventh, the fourth and seventh video on the list? Now, this is really bad. Bard is not winning any contests here. I mean, shit, GPT-4 did a better job. Like when I went to GPT-4 and just had it and just use the web search thing to analyze YouTube, it did a better job. It does better with single video summaries. I sure hope so. Hey, JCC said, hello, Jerry. Been busy as heck. Got my first BSOD on Windows 11 on Thanksgiving. Oh, I was so pissed. Luckily, I don't get a lot of BSODs. Once you get the driver shit figured out, you don't get a lot of BSODs on Windows 11. What driver ended up being the cause? Was it, let me guess, GPU? Was it GPU, perhaps? Hey, Joe Tachi, thank you for the $20, man. I appreciate that so much. He said, spray that sexy fog. I passed my CompTIA CYSA cybersecurity analyst certification exam. Also, I wish I knew you were streaming last night. I honestly can't stand missing streams. I need to figure out something that flashes the lights. The problem is I need to get on a schedule so that you guys know when I'm streaming and I'm reliably streaming, because that hasn't happened in a long time and it's all over the place and it's hurting. It's not just causing problems for you. It's causing problems for me too. So gotta figure it out. Like yesterday, I wanted to stream so freaking bad early in the day, and every time I tried, something got in my way, and then my anxiety got really high, and then when my anxiety gets high, I don't want to stream, because then once I get on camera, I freeze up, and it's a whole thing. And it's like, it never used to feel like that, you know? It's something just isn't right with me, and I keep hoping that it'll change, but it's just not, and it's driving me nuts. But I will give you a little squirt here. Let's give you a little squirt for the CompTIA. Why is it only doing one little squirt? Here, let's see. Is this clogged? Oh, no, that wasn't good. All right. Fuck. All right, we'll fix that later. God damn. Ow, something stabbed me. No power failure, and my UPS pissed off the USB driver. It happened during the auto transition to the whole house generator. Oh no. Yeah, that's pretty much an unavoidable BSOD right there. Oh, that sucks, man. Hope you didn't lose too much. AC's drafting. He's like, finally, someone's throwing money in. AC, thank you for priming the pump, brother. We truly do appreciate it. And Joe Taji, thank you so much for the support, man. Super duper appreciate it. A lot of you guys have been supportive today. We appreciate it. You know, I'm not looking for any crazy numbers or anything. I know I'm not even remotely deserving of them. So I appreciate whatever you guys can do, especially with Christmas coming up. So muchos gracias, senores and senoritas. You guys have been amazing. Would setting a schedule on Google Calendar help a more consistent streaming? No. It'd actually make things way worse. The thing is, already I'm trying to shoot for a time, and I know when I need to be doing it, and I don't hit it because of the panic attack that ensues. It's almost like right now I just got to get to the point where it just kind of like creeps up on me, and I just do it. Why is this not working? Like, it's not supposed to stop. It's supposed to just go full blast and keep going full blast. I mean, yeah, it's sending the command, it's just not doing it. I wonder if I need to clean. Somebody said I might need to clean the nozzle. I wonder if the nozzle's creating some kind of back pressure. I'll have to look and see how to clean it, because there has been a couple times it's been accidentally left on overnight, so it might have like crustified some of the fluid in there. But I know it's not supposed to be acting this way. This is definitely how it's not supposed to be doing this. Valley Brand said, did the lorazepam help with the panic attacks before? I know you mentioned that yesterday. Hugely. The lorazepam helped me so much. Lorazepam was probably primarily responsible for me to be able to stream on a schedule for the months that I had it, but they took it away from me. They said that it's just too much paperwork with the state now because of the conflicts between that and the new pain medication that they got me on, even though the new pain medication is weaker than the old pain medication that had the same indications. So yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid how everything works, but you know, it's a balance between quality of life and what your doctors are willing to do. You know, and right now I have 2 doctors that I have to work with to get what I can, and you know, if shit goes wrong with them, then I won't even get the pain relief that I have right now. So unfortunately, it's not a matter of getting what I need to be successful at my job and take care of my family. It's just I just get what I get and have to deal with it, and that's life, unfortunately. Do I often game these days? Not a lot. I haven't gamed a lot these days because my hands hurt so bad that I can only hold a controller for about 2 or 3 minutes before my hands go numb and I get like stinging sensations in here and in my fingers and my joints. So even with light pressure, it doesn't matter. Like even playing VR has been a challenge lately. Like I've been trying to do more of it and kind of conditioning myself, but I can't even get through a whole Beat Saber song before I have to pause it because my hands hurt so bad I can't feel the controllers. I do have good days though. Like I do every once in a while I have a good day where it's like my hands actually can work pretty well, and then I can get like 5 to 10 minutes before I have to shake them and get the circulation going in them again and get the nerve to come unpinched. But the biggest problem is my lower back. My lower back, it's like even just sitting, no matter what position I get in when I'm gaming, like holding the controller up in front of me, it just always starts agitating my back really bad. It's just what you got to do. That's before they deleted the views. My original channel had close to 3 million 10 years ago. Now it only shows 1 million views. Oh, what? Did they delete a bunch of views on YouTube? I did hear that they deleted a bunch of bots and stuff. So whatever views were generated by those probably got removed also. Have you set off the smoke detectors yet with the fog machine? Yes. JCC, I've set off the fog machine many, many times. When back in the day when we used to have the Twitch streams where people were just like tipping nonstop and hype training like crazy when we were, you know, playing some Nefix and running the lights and all the sound effects and stuff. Yeah, back in those days, yeah, I'd set off that fire alarm multiple times during a stream. I haven't set it off in a long time though. It takes quite a bit to set it off. Like you literally, that thing has to run continuously for about 30 seconds. But we've done it. You've definitely set it off, Theodorus, multiple times. I do have to see though, like what I'm gonna do about cleaning that thing. Here, let me see. Does YouTube have a video on how to clean a fog machine? I'm sure they do. Let's go learn. Let's see here. YouTube, how to clean fog machine nozzle. Oh, sorry, I got some scratchy balls. Give me a second here. All right, how to clean a fog machine 9 years ago. Okay, do we got anything more current than that? How to clean your fog machine, prepare your fog machine for hibernation. Okay, let's see what we got here.
Hi guys, and welcome to Old School Hunter. Today's video is about fog machines and how I prepare my fog machines for hibernation. After Halloween is before Halloween, and usually I pack my fog machine into the closet and get them out right before Halloween.
Let's fast forward to the part here. Okay, so he's dumping out all the fluid,
which normally holds the fog fluid. You do not need much more distilled water for cleaning here. Water is now filled into the tank, which normally holds the fog fluid. You do not need much.
So you just run distilled water through it?
It is important that you use distilled water at this point. In any case, you must not use normal tap water here. Distilled water is specially cleaned.
Well, luckily I have tons of distilled water for my CPAP, so
and no longer contains impurities.
Isn't lorazepam and sleep apnea a no-go? Yeah, according to them, but I don't have a strong reaction to it. So it's never caused a problem with me. I mean, I was literally on lorazepam with way harder painkillers than I'm on right now for 6 months and didn't have any problems. It's just unfortunately, and it'd be really bad if you were on sleep apnea without a machine. Remember, I have a CPAP, though. I sleep with a CPAP already. So without a CPAP, though, you probably wouldn't want lorazepam because it would relax you and make the apnea even worse.
Then it is a good idea to go outside and connect the fog machines. Once the fog machine is heated up, just activate the fog. At the beginning, thick white fog comes out of the fog machine as you used to know. But after a short time, the thick white fog becomes thinner and thinner and only a fine white fog comes out. And this is the water vapor from the distilled water now. Per fog machine, I let the fog run for about 2 minutes. And this time should be more than sufficient until the fog fluid is out of the fog machine's pipes. Then I use a kitchen towel to rub everything dry and I'm done. Here's a very important hint at this point. If you use the distilled water from the canister for other things than cleaning the fog machine, then do not put the rest from the tank of the fog machine back into the canister of the distilled water.
So is that it? You just run distilled water through it and it's happy? Huh. Somehow that was easier than what I thought it was going to be. Oh, sweet. I just got an update from HD Robotics. They said the arm is shipping out on Monday. Woo! That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, he does sound like he's from Switzerland. Let's see here. By the way, N Bowser got 50 TKs a second. I got 30 tokens a second last night with LM Studio and Hermes 2.5. I don't think I've tried Hermes 2.5 in LM Studio. Let me see. No, I was using Mistral. Here, let me see. Where's Hermes? Do I have Hermes 2.5? Let's see. Hermes. Oh, Open Hermes. Not just Hermes. You were using Open Hermes, right? Like specifically Open Hermes. Hey, Robert Tate. What is up, brother? It's good to see you, Darth Tigger. How you doing? Long time no see. Love you, bro. I miss you. Sorry that you have to be down there in Florida with all those crazy people, but you know, hey, you get a nicer house for the money, so I can't blame you. Oh, you said you were on 2K though, right? You were using the Open Hermes 2K, not the 7K. Here, let me see. How can I figure out how many tokens a second I'm getting? Where does it show that information? I haven't seen that. Not Open Herpes, Open Hermes. Okay, there we go. So I just loaded. Okay, model Mistral Open Hermes 2.5 Mistral 7B. Why did it load 7B again? I thought I told it I wanted 2. Q2K. Oh, 7B Q2K. Okay, never mind. Let me try this model and see what it does. Do I have GPU enabled? Let me check. GPU acceleration is enabled with 20 layers. I got to reload the model. The people are incredibly stupid, but the weather is great. I couldn't get used to the humidity. I don't know if where you're at, if the humidity is as bad as it was down in Disney World, but my God, the humidity in Florida was just killing me, man. Oh, it shows under the chat bar? Okay, here, let me ask it a question. Where does the wiener go when you're doing the baby making thing? Okay, enter. Let's see how fast it runs. Okay, waiting. Oh, never mind. I have to put it on chat ML. I had the wrong configurer loaded. Okay, where does the wiener go? Come on, answer my damn question. Why is it not working? Here, let me open up a new one. User, start a new chat. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. Hello, I'm ready for any test or question you have. Please provide them. I'll do my best to assist you. Okay, I got 4 tokens a second. Okay, how the hell are you guys getting those speeds? How are you guys getting 50 and 30? Like, what graphics cards are you using, Aaron? Oh, in the winter it's great. Okay, so the humidity is just really bad in the summer. Okay, I didn't know that. No, Kurt, I don't get disability. I qualify for it, but I'm not doing it because that's if I go that's my Hail Mary. If I go on disability, there's no coming back from that. So that's a last resort kind of thing. Humidity's not that bad in Florida. I just live outside of Orlando. It beats dealing with the damn Michigan winters when I live there. Best part is I have no more Xfinity. That's awesome. Would I go work for OpenAI? Not after the shit they just went through last week. No way. Oh, George, dude, don't worry. It was at 2 a.m., brother. So, Aaron, how the hell on a 3060 are you beating my 3080? Like, something has got to be wrong with my machine. What settings are you using for GPU acceleration? Are you using how many layers and how many CPU threads do you have configured? Because I'm trying to figure out how you guys are getting these crazy ass speeds. And okay, wait, what speed were you getting with the 3060? You were getting 30 tokens a second. Yeah, you're kicking my ass. I'm getting a max speed of 4.7 tokens a second on a 3080. That just doesn't make any sense. I'm starting to wonder if it's trying to use my the wrong graphics card because I have 2 graphics cards in the system. It's possible that it's using the wrong one. Let me see. Okay, so the Titan XP is being utilized 21% for its memory and a little bit for its CPU, and then 66% usage on my primary GPU, literally doing nothing for video. Video encoding. Oh, I'm encoding the stream. That's probably why. It's because I'm using a lot of the GPU right now to encode the stream that's going out to YouTube at 21 megabit. So that's probably kicking the crap out of my GPU. That's what's probably slowing me down. I bet you once I stop streaming, it'll go really fast. Let's see here. 6 CPU threads on 6-core AMD. Make sure you are offloading layers to the GPU. Where do I select offload layers to the GPU? Because I do have the GPU layers. Like I have GPU acceleration like selected, but I don't have any option. I didn't see any option or select any option that said offload layers. At least not under hardware setting. It's possible I'm missing some like CUDA driver or something too. I might have to go do a little bit of research. Let me look. Model initialization. Keep entire model and RAM is on. Content length, frequency scale, frequency base. Those are all left the same. It doesn't let me select which GPU to use. So I'm guessing it's just using whatever the primary GPU is or whatever GPU you allocate to it when you start the application. It's in the bar on the right. So there's a thing in the bar on the right that says offload layers to GPU. Is it actually called offload layers to GPU? Because I'm missing that one. The only one I got under hardware settings is GPU acceleration and GPU layers 30. That's all I have. And then detected GPU type, Nvidia CUDA, CPU threads 4, and that's it. God, I'm so tired. We're probably not gonna be streaming too much longer, guys. I'm like starting to fall asleep here. Oh man, wait, hold on here. Okay, let's see here. NGPU layers is offloading it. Okay, yeah. No, I've had that set the whole time. I just don't think it's doing what it's supposed to. Let's see here. User. What's the difference between selecting user or assistant for the input? I need to look that up too. Reload model to continue. Do you have the checkbox checked? No, of course I do. Yeah, no, the checkbox is checked for GPU acceleration. I made sure it was checked on all the models that I did. If I don't check it, then CPU spikes up to like 100% and it goes super duper slow. So yeah, there's something going on. It's possible that because I have the Titan XP in here, it's causing some problems. I put the Titan XP in here, and now I can't really take it out because I need it to run the other two monitors. Because with my new VR headset, the Arrow, the Vario Arrow, that thing takes up like 2 full screen slots. So I can't run the 3 4K screens. I can only run 2 4K screens with that attached. So the other 4K screen I had to attach to the second GPU, which is an older Titan XP, and it works fine for like Windows desktop compositing and everything. I haven't had too many problems, but it does seem to be fucking around with hardware acceleration in a lot of these AI applications, unfortunately. It's all right. I'll play with it and figure out what's going on. See what kind of performance I get now. It's going a little bit faster now. Still pretty damn slow though. Let me see if it's maxing out the GPU. Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of it is just because I'm using 68% of the GPU to encode the video stream, because we're encoding the video stream at like 4K, I think 4K 60 at 22 megabit or something like that. So, and I bet you if I go look at my OBS settings, I don't even know if I'm using like the best HVEC codec for that. I'm probably using H.264, which is a lot slower. Well, actually, I'm only compositing at 1080p 60. That shouldn't be beating the shit out of my computer like that. Yeah, I really got to go through this stuff. Oh, wait. No, Direct 3D 11 render? No, that's normal. Yeah, I'm going to have to go through all my settings with a fine-tooth comb when I'm not so tired. You guys have been absolutely awesome today, though, but I think I'm going to call it. I'm already over by quite a bit. I think I need to go get some sleep, and then I got to figure out how to clean out this machine here, because it is not happy. So I need to blast some distilled water through it. Apparently, I tried to sleep last night. I just couldn't. So I just stayed up because I figured if I ended up taking melatonin or something and going to sleep, there was no way possible that I was going to wake up, and I didn't want to miss the stream. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Hey, Dolphston, I saw it before the bot got it. Thank you, brother. What I'm going to task you with you guys for homework, though, is go to lmstudio.ai. This is a free piece of software that you can install. I believe it's supported on Windows and Linux and Mac OS. And it's basically a front end that was written. I believe it's open source, too. It's a front end for working with GPTs, GANs, like basically AI models, right? All different types of AI models. It's constantly under development, but it's just if you've wanted to run AI like stuff locally on your computer without relying on these services in the clouds, and you've got a decent GPU, or even if it's a shitty GPU, as long as you got like 6 gig of memory or more, there's quite a few models you can run. It's kind of like having Chat GPT local on your computer, but without all the censorship. So, which is nice for like creating things. And then, this can be a gateway drug, because once you get used to this and play around with it and get used to the models, then you can start going out to GitHub and start downloading like some of the other models that aren't in the database. You can download some models, like custom trained models from like Hugging Face AI projects that are online, as I understand it. I think you can even do some custom training with this with your own data, create your own bots locally. I haven't checked to see what API it exposes. It looks like you can set up a server. So a local inference server, start local HTTP server that behaves like OpenAI's APIs. That's fantastic. So you can basically issue direct OpenAI. Oh, that's fantastic. That means, oh, wow. So I can make Barnabot work off of this. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to get this running on my Titan XP, because if I can get this running on my Titan XP, then I can tie Barnabot into this and have Barnabot be completely local and no longer be dependent on anything. That would be awesome. Now, if only Poe had API. Does Poe have a API access, or does it suffer from the same problem? Let me see here. Poe, download iOS app, because it doesn't really look like a developer-friendly app. Your yearly subscription is active. You subscribe through the PoE iOS app. To manage your subscription, go to... Okay, so they did charge me. So I have 30 days left on Claude Instant 100K, ChatGPT 16, 1,000. Monthly subscription, 1,000 left. Daily free. GPT-4 messages free. Monthly subscription, 575 left. Total of 600. Your daily GPT-4 messages are used first, followed by guaranteed monthly GPT-4 messages. When both balance are used up at times when PO is over capacity, message speed, quality, and bot availability may be reduced. Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. I was wondering how they were doing limitations on Poe, but I prefer that. I actually prefer it just like slowing down as I lose stuff, then like just tell me to fuck off for 3 hours, which is what ChatGPT did. Stable Diffusion looks like got 3,000. Your daily Stable Diffusion XL messages are used first, followed by your guaranteed monthly messages. When both balances are used up at time when Poe is over capacity, message speed, quality, and bot availability may be reduced. Dolly 3 have 588 left. No free currently available. I didn't really know that's how this worked, but you know, hey, whatever. It gets the job done. And then your bots. I can create different bots, but I don't have API access to the bots, do I? Your bots, all your chats. All right, I'm going to look into that, because if Poe has some level of API access, that would actually greatly simplify things. Hey, Valiant Brand, thank you. I appreciate it. Ron, thank you so much. Kryptovsky, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Joe Taji, thanks for hanging out, bro. George, thank you for always bringing out. Sir Edno, thank you. You guys are absolute beasts. Thank you for hanging out today. And thank you for making me feel important for a couple of hours. And thank you for whoever's mashing on that heart button. That's pretty cool. I do see that. God, man, when I peter out. Jesus. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's tips here. Spray oil here. Joe Taji, I sprayed the fog machine as much as I could. I'm sorry that it's clogged. I'm going to fix that. AC Drafting, again, thank you for blowing everything up, dude. You were by a landslide the biggest tipper today. You monster, you. I love Scotch. Thank you for the tip earlier, dude. So saw the video, made drone have a Wi-Fi mesh repeater. So they made a drone that had a Wi-Fi mesh repeater so that they could actually use the drones to extend a wireless network. I mean, when you consider they can stay in the air for an hour, if you need to get a message out to somebody in the field, or you need to like relay something, you could just get a bunch of drones strategically placed line of sight between each other and relay a message, you know, over long distances that would be compatible with conventional hardware. Plus, you could get up above the tree lines, which would be really helpful. Joe Taji, thank you for the 7 months. As a channel friend, he said 7 Barna months one day. Figure out the ultimate way to be alerted when Barnacules streams. Not sure, but I'm sure it'll involve some nipple zaps. Hey, man, that sounds like a good invention, actually. RW, thank you for being a channel friend today. And I love Scotch. I'm also going to look into the alumni program. Please remind me again if I haven't done that next time we talk by next stream, because the alumni program, if that ends up getting me a cheaper Game Pass and that ends up giving me a Prime account like for free included with it, there's like no reason why I shouldn't be doing that. All right, guys, you take it easy, and I'll catch you on Monday. All right, peace out. Later. If I can find the button, I don't know where the button is. Woo.